The Halo universe is filled with wonder, mystery, and fascinating discoveries around every corner. With so much to explore, three friends decided it was about time that they booted up their consoles and discussed this universe that has grabbed their attention since childhood. JumperScape Audio kindly welcomes you to join them in the library.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the library. This is take two. It didn't work the first time. You see, we're recording in a very informal location, as I have already said, but you didn't hear me because that audio is gone now. Hey, James, can you watch over my phone?
No.
Okay. All right, so.
Give it.
No, it's too late. It's too late now. So here's the deal, everybody. Basically, we have a new studio that we're working on out of a very nice, large space. However, comma.
It's basement.
However, comma. It's not sound professional. Don't call it that.
Who cares?
Me.
I don't think the audience cares.
Yeah, but I do.
Yeah, we rented a studio space with our buckets of money.
I want to do that someday.
Maybe.
One day.
I mean,
Or just build a whole one, because where are we going to find one around here?
I know a place.
He knows it, but we're going to talk at some point. Anyway, went through a lot of steps, cleaned up a lot of things, made a lot of stuff better. And then basically, oh man, my laptop's not even muted. This is great. Basically,
This is the disaster episode. That's going to be the title.
we are currently
Personal charm.
we are so James and I are in like lazy boy style recliners. Shane and Connor are in their podcast chairs, but they are so far away from the table. We're all gathered around a dehumidifier that is holding our podcast deck.
Yeah, the table.
And my laptop's on the concrete floor.
The table.
With a candle.
Yeah, the table.
With a candle. It's like a seance.
Yeah, the table we're supposed to sit at is in the opposite side of the room.
This was an unfortunate thing, but I guess this had to happen. We needed to be humbled.
We were surrounded by storage.
We were going too strong. Oh my gosh, guys, do you hear that?
Oh my God.
Oh my
guys,
God,
again.
it's already happening. It's already happening.
We
Oh
spent
my
too much
gosh.
time setting up, so we have to do this
I
right
can't
off the
believe
rip.
That this is something that we have to deal with. Oh no. Oh wow, he's here. Welcome, Mr. Non-Zero Milk MT.
What? Woo, milk.
Oh,
Hello.
How are you today,
I want
my
milk.
friend?
I am doing great. I just got done getting angry at PUBG for 2 hours.
That's the only
Go
way
play
you can
Fortnite.
enjoy it. I mean, you could go play Fortnite. I'm just saying.
Oh, you're the only person I've heard that plays it. To this
I used to play PUBG.
recently.
Honestly, I used to play
Allegedly.
PUBG. PUBG's fun.
Allegedly.
So
Yeah.
your message that you wanted us to convey for everybody here was Oni is watching. Is that a threat, or is that what's the message behind that?
I'm more of a Firestorm person myself.
The message is just that Oni is watching. Just be careful.
Fair enough. Fair
You
enough.
never know.
They're the reason we have to have this jank ass setup right now.
Well, do you think do you believe that Oni is going to watch you win 500 credits for Infinite?
Hopefully.
That's a good mentality to walk in with. Okay.
Love the enthusiasm.
Do you want to just jump straight into the questions,
yeah,
or do you want to
please.
have more small talk with the homies? We got all the time in the world right now.
I mean, I'm down for chit chat if you guys are.
What's your favorite color?
We lost him.
I'm a sucker for a darker red or a good purple.
A darker
Okay.
red.
Okay. You mean
Okay.
maroon?
Well,
Well, not quite maroon.
A darkish
but
red.
Just about, yeah.
I'm darkish red.
Like
Okay.
a blood red.
So now we have to. Now that we're going into favorites, favorite Halo.
Reach. That was my first Halo.
Okay, so is that the reason why it's your favorite? What about Reach?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
No elaboration. No,
no,
stop.
it's just my favorite because it's my first.
Yeah. That was how I started playing Halo and getting into it, and then multiplayer side, I am actually really liking how Infinite's multiplayer is going.
As you should.
Yeah. It's
Like,
going. It
for
is going.
Sorry.
You're all fine. We're all in the same room
Yeah.
with no lag. You are on our secure communique.
Yeah.
that is
Next
lagging a
question.
little.
What is your full social security number?
And credit card number and mother's.
What
maiden
is your
name.
blood type? What is your zip code?
What is your street?
Middle name.
Please inform me of your work history.
What is your bank account
Give me your
and routing
wallet.
number? Just give me your wallet. Give me your wallet.
What's the name of your first pet?
Oh, I see what that is. Yeah, bank questions.
Pull off your skin.
Pull off your skin. Well, aside from us being utter idiots, I got one more question for you before we actually get to the real ones that'll earn you some stuff. No, Shane, come on, be respectful.
Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry.
Okay, so I gotta know. I've seen you active a whole lot in the Discord. I don't remember. Have you joined in the current trend, so to speak, of a certain username type?
Yes.
You did not.
Stop. No, why?
We've had to watch this. It's
Here's the
terrible.
thing. Austin and James supports it, but me and Connor are like preying on the downfall of the lactation group.
I think it's fun.
It is
it's gotta
fun. It
go.
just kind of grosses me
Yeah.
out.
Our boy
I think
Lac-
it's fun.
Our boy Lactating Gator has started something.
It's him. It is him. He's patient zero.
Yeah, he really started something, and I'm starting the most random beef with him.
It's funny. It's funny. My beef is with
I
default.
joined because it fits with my username because I'm non-zero milk, and so it was just like, all right, cool, I can adapt that in.
It is kind of perfect.
Non-zero milk. That is a great name. You hear that, everyone? Great name. Zero and milk.
Zero. All right. Well, now that we're all, we all know each other, we've gotten to talk for a little bit. Now let's see if we can get you some credits. Sound good?
Hell yeah.
All right. So your first question, my friend. What did the Master Chief say in response to Locke when he said, Cortana is our responsibility now, sir? Was it, negative Locke, I don't like it? Was it, I need the weapon? Was it, I'll never let her go? Or, like hell she is?
It was D, like hell she is.
It was D, like hell she is. Very, very well done, my friend. I personally would have found it hilarious if he goes, negative Locke, I don't like it.
Negative. Just goes through the portal negative and just goes in.
I don't like it.
So,
I don't like it.
next up, how many prophets is Chief responsible for killing? Is it 1, 2, 3, or none? It was all an accident.
I want to say 1 at least.
So it's 2, and I'll tell you why.
Is it 2?
So Prophet of Regret and then Prophet of Mercy, when he ripped off that flood form, he did that with intention to kill him. I've cross-referenced it multiple times.
He got you on a technical. He got you on a
that is
technicality.
a-
It's not a technical.
That's
That
a
is
technicality.
such a bait and switch. I don't like
I don't
that
think
question.
I don't think it is. I checked everything. There's not a single source that says that he accidentally killed.
Yeah,
the
but everyone else is
prophet.
going to think, oh, he's just dead because of the flood.
He didn't mean to, because that's the thing. The flood didn't kill him.
It kind of smells.
When he pulled out the flood, it ripped out his throat. Like it killed the prophet. He killed the prophet.
Yeah, I guess.
see. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Did I?
Sorry, buddy. I tried.
make
I had
that?
to replace your question with
It's
this
all
one.
right.
Wasn't it the one? How much Covenant is Master Chief?
There's no definite number for that.
I was gonna say. Well, I mean, isn't it like? I mean, it's kind of similar to like the Arbiter. It's just like an estimate.
No, there is not even an estimate.
Really?
We have no idea.
I thought there was a number thrown around.
If
somewhere.
you can find a number, you got to calculate it yourself, because there's no number that's listed even on Halopedia.
Wild. Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. I
But,
was gonna say,
you
I don't
know,
remember making that one.
I'll
I
still-
make the questions. Austin
because-
writes the answers.
Because
so.
they
yeah.
hated me for my answer, I'll give it to you anyway.
I mean, I didn't care, but I mean, if you want to give it to him, if you want to give the
Give it to him. Give it to him.
I said I would. Back off.
back off.
All right, next up. Who was chosen to deliver the other half of Cortana to the Pillar of Autumn? Was it Carter, June, Six, or Halsey?
Wasn't it 6?
It was in fact
I would have
6.
been very concerned if you said your favorite game was Halo Reach and you didn't know that. You would have gotten cooked, my guy. I'm sorry.
I really would have.
I'm very, very glad you got
I
it.
feel like he had paused because you worded it as other half, which is true. But like, I feel like that would have made me think, okay, well, he's implying the half that 6 took already happened. Who took the other half?
See, this is
for a second I was thinking
this
Halsey.
is a callback to the last episode, because on the previous episode I had pointed out that there was someone in the Discord server that said they actually have a canon reason for how those two things happen at the same time. Where in Fall of Reach novel, Cortana's already on the Pillar of Autumn, and in Reach, she's on Reach. Was that 343 explained it as the Cortana on Reach was like the information and all of the stuff that she knows that was being transferred to the shipboard AI of her on the Pillar of Autumn already. So that was more like, were you listening last week? Sort of thing.
This guy.
So
This guy.
next up, how was the Banished first teased to be the main threat of Halo Infinite? Was it? It was teased in Halo Wars 2. It was teased in Hunt the Truth. Hidden messages in the Halo Infinite teaser trailer, or the incoming transmission trailer revealed it.
This is kind of a tough one.
I think I know the answer.
I know the answer. I know it for a fact.
I want to say the fourth one, D.
Incoming transmission?
Yeah.
It was
That
incoming
was correct.
transmission.
Yep.
Good job.
I don't know if there was hints that I just didn't know about in that.
I mean,
launch
there
trailer.
was like leaks of like the Mega Blocks, but the official reveal was the incoming.
so funny.
It was Atriox talking
Yeah.
in the transmission.
All right,
Flashback
next
to all of our Halo Infinite news coming from Mega Blocks.
Yeah. Oh my god. What a dark
Dude,
day.
that's how I figured out that Locke was going to be gone, was because his helmet is on one of the bosses.
That was the very first Mega Blocks thing.
That was
I'm pretty
hilarious.
sure-
Is
I'm
Locke
pretty
not
sure
in it?
There's a rumor like that wasn't. I mean, it's the same helmet, but there's
It's him.
I've
It's-
seen,
yeah,
I've
It's now,
seen-
we now know it's him.
Yeah.
It's the same helmet with the same colors. I
Yeah.
doubt they would be like, it's a different Spartan with the same helmet and the same colors.
helmet on his shoulder as arm decoration or whatever.
He's confirmed alive though, isn't he?
Yeah. Like there's not really confirmed, but there's concept art of him wearing what's left of his armor.
Yeah.
So like it's supposed to be like the confirmation right there. Next up, what is the name of the pilot in Halo Infinite? Is it El Sueño?
Oh, no, please keep going. They gotta get better. They gotta keep going, please.
It doesn't get better. That's
Oh,
the
come
one.
on.
Was it Fernando Garcia, Fernando Esparza, or Franklin Mendez?
It was Fernando or Esparza.
It was Fernando Esparza.
What do you mean it was an El
First one,
Sueño?
though.
Although I don't remember Franklin Mendez. Where am I getting that name from? I got that from
I have
something.
no
Franklin
idea.
Mendez.
Mendez, isn't that like the guy who trained the Spartans? But that might not be his first name.
That was it. That was it. Franklin Mendez. That was him. Thank you. That was
Okay.
awesome. Anyway,
I was not
Look
ready
at
for
me.
El Sueño.
Kurt in the Spartan 3s, wasn't it?
I was not ready for El Sueño.
all
not
right.
ready
Next
for that.
up, how much time passes between Halo 5 Guardians and Halo Infinite? Is it 2 years, 4 years, 8 years, or 10 years?
2 years?
It was 2 years. No, only 2. I was kind of shocked about that myself.
Yeah, are you?
Hey,
I
kind
I
of
was paying attention.
backtracking the last question. You'll get bonus points if you can say what game was El Sueño from.
Oh, God.
I don't expect you to know this, but I'll respect you a hell of a lot more if you
Extra
know.
credit opportunity. Ding, 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 ding.
Or maybe you can get a wrong question back.
He doesn't even have any at the moment.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's
He
cooking.
gets a credit then. He gets a free
he gets
pass.
1 credit.
Free pass.
God. El Sueño sounds so familiar, but I don't know.
I can give you a hint.
Yeah.
He is in a Tom Clancy game. Bro, come on, you got this.
I was going to say the only Tom Clancy
There's
game
just
I
a-
know of is Rainbow Six, so I don't know.
That's unfortunate. Well, now we're just going to give you a game recommendation. Play Ghost Recon Wildlands.
okay.
You'll love it.
Very
it's
great
just
game.
it's
That
just
is
the
a
way that it
great-
is.
I
It is-
think
I don't know
I
how it
think
is
that's
it's
on-
still active.
my list, actually.
Get you a fun 4
You'll want to
stack.
play it before Ubisoft eventually is like, oh wait, we forgot to turn this off and shuts off the servers.
Yeah, get you a good get 3 good squad mates and go run it. It's a good
Yep.
time.
Or bad ones. You can be the best one in the team if you want to.
Yeah, but then you'll get frustrated. Especially if you do ghost mode. They have a permadeath mode, and it's very heartbreaking if your character dies.
So, for now, next up, what is the name of the first brute boss you fight in the Halo Infinite campaign? Is it Bassus, Tremonius, Chaklock, or Hyperius?
Can you repeat those?
It was Bassus, Tremonius, Chaklock, or Hyperius. Do any of you guys know this one?
I do.
I think so.
He does. You might. You haven't even played it, have you, Connor?
No, we need to do a playthrough of Infinite.
We do. On stream?
Sure,
Might
why
as
not?
well.
Is it Tremonius?
It is Hyperius.
Hyperius.
Oh.
It's Hyperius.
Yes,
I'm
it's
not-
Hyperius.
Hyperius is that first brute that comes down the elevator. And he's like,
No, that was the one with Locke on his shoulder.
Hyperius.
No, he's not the one. He's the one who has the chopper.
Well, okay, so that's still it's Hyperius. Hyperius is the one that has the.
Yeah, but you kill him.
I'm not going.
He's still the first boss you fight.
No, I'm telling you, it's Tremonius.
Well, how about we? Would you like to fact check it?
I'm not gonna lie. I would have picked Hyperius just off the name being really cool.
Say, I wrote the
That was my
question.
guess.
Austin wrote the answer. So don't. If you were told you were incorrect and you were in fact correct, don't get mad at me and get upset with Austin.
We are fact checking.
And we're fact checking.
I believe it is actually Tremonius.
Was it Tremonius?
I just googled it because I remember now. Yeah, Hyperius is one of the twins. He's the one that has the chopper, and then the other
I
one.
twisted
it
myself
sits.
up. I use two different us's aside from Bassus.
It is
an easy one.
Tremonius.
Yep. All right, I can be wrong. It's cool.
This is my proudest moment.
Good job, James. You should be proud of yourself.
This happened twice already
job,
in this quiz show.
All right, so you got 2 more to go. Good news, you are guaranteed to win basically by this point.
Oh yeah.
And also, I actually forgot to mention, there's a game mechanic that I set up for these quiz shows, and you can use it for these last 2 if you have to. But there was actually something that I wanted to do a while. I even have a note for it. I just kept on forgetting to mention. You can call in a lifeline to have any of these 3 guys answer the question for you at any point.
Oh god.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, except for Shane.
Wow.
Because there's at least with the
I mean-
transmission one, you told me what the answer to that question was.
Yeah. I was gonna say, no. I will say, like, I know. Yeah, probably don't do me because I literally make the questions. So it's either Connor, James, or Austin.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
You don't.
maybe
Not me. You'll be able to
It's
call
Con- it's
Connor,
Connor
or James.
or James.
You call in one of them, and they can answer the question
There
for
is
you.
one of those 2 I
And if they
highly
screw it
recommend
up
you
for
don't
you,
call
then,
on. I'm not going to say names, but one of those 2 you really don't want to call on.
I've watched a lot of YouTube videos.
Don't out yourself, dude.
All right,
I didn't say
so-
names.
You
I'm
got
just saying. I've watched a lot of YouTube.
You got
videos.
2 more questions to go. So let's get this wrapped so that we can let you get back to having a bad time on PUBG. Halo Battleborn takes place on the human colony of Pegasi, Harvest, Eridanus, or Meridian.
I didn't write this question.
You did not.
Did you pop this one in?
Anytime that I have to switch out the questions is because it either didn't have a solid answer or it was just straight up a question that didn't. It was too vague or whatever. I have reasons.
Okay. You know what? That's fine.
If I have a hard time with the
No,
answer.
He's hurt. I can see it in
That's
his
okay.
eyes.
That's okay. No, it's okay.
I've had 2 of my questions that I answered that I said you're wrong, and they were both right. So, would you like me to repeat the answers?
Yes, please.
Halo Battleborn takes place on the human colony of Pegasi, Harvest, Eridanus, or Meridian.
Pegasi?
It was Meridian. I know this because I love those books. Kind of.
Jamming
They're pretty.
Meridian.
They're pretty. They are okay teen novels, not great Halo novels. If you want teen drama in a Halo universe, there's your go-to.
Gotcha. Yeah,
I mean, you're pretty much-
I'm still listening to the Forerunner trilogy, so I have
Good.
a long ways to go.
How far are you in right now?
I think I haven't listened to. I'm on the 2nd book.
Okay, Primordium.
I think Primordium. Yeah, I forget how long I'm in. But I've been listening to the audiobook of it.
Good. That's in my opinion. I'm sure that Halo guy might be listening and he's probably going to be upset, or he agrees. I hope he does. Primordium is the best of the 3. It's like a very nice Lord of the Rings style journey across the ring. It's a great it's a great time. All right.
I'm on chapter 13 of Primordium.
Okay, so you're pretty deep in there. That's good. You're almost to the really fun parts. There's some interesting things that happen after the halfway point, so you'll have a good time with that.
Ooh.
All right, let's get this all wrapped up. One more question to go. After creation, how long does it take for a human smart AI to start showing signs of rampancy? Is it 5 years, 7 years, 9 years, or 10 years?
7 years.
It is 7 years. You've had a perfect game, my friend. I think you're actually our first perfect game. So,
I am surprised at that, honestly.
Wait, didn't he just get a question wrong?
I gave him the profit one.
But
The planet.
the planet one.
The Bloodborne.
Man, you should just let me say it.
Well, I'm sorry, man. We can't let you be the fraudulent first perfect.
Yeah,
game.
I'm sorry.
We like to have fun.
I want to apologize.
We like
for-
to have fun.
I,
here.
I want to apologize for all of the slip ups that have just happened. My brain, I've had to work so hard these last couple of days just to use a studio that I don't get to use today. It's bothering me.
It's all right, man. I get it.
He also doesn't know what we're
forcing us to slave away
talking
in his
about because he
basement.
hasn't listened to the episode yet. But you will tomorrow.
You will.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that.
I listen to them almost as soon as they drop. So
Woo! That's really cool, man.
Sweet.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on winning your credits. We will DM you, and by we I mean me. We'll DM you with
Me will DM you.
with
Me will DM
a nice little code for you that you can use. Up to you if you want to post what you get off the store. If you use it at all, if you want to stash it, you can feel free to do that as well. Obviously, it's honestly not a bad idea unless you already have some floating around in there. I don't know, but if you end up getting something, I invite you, welcome you to throw it into the server at some point. Otherwise, we'll see you around in there.
heck yeah.
Sweet. Thank you very much. Thank you very much
you
for
for
hanging out with
inviting me.
us. Of course. Well,
This is a call to arms to the James cult. I want you all to put James in your name somehow.
I'd almost prefer that over anything about lactating.
someone in the
If
server is not
someone-
going to
if
rename
someone-
the lactating James.
Yeah, I know. Please,
Someone's
someone
gonna do
don't
that.
do that.
Everyone in chat, I want you to make Austin give you a James cult roll tag.
Make Austin a roll.
I
Yes.
do support the lactating James username. That will be funny.
Someone's gonna.
I support that too, Connor.
sure-
I am.
I'm
It's up for grabs.
Thank you.
Oh gosh. All right. Well,
I don't know how
now
I'm gonna
that
feel
you
about
have the
that. Open
idea in your
Discord, I
head,
see- What if they all like change their name to lactating James?
I'm gonna cry. I will cry.
Every single one of them. I'm gonna wake up. Someone's gonna at me in the Discord, and I'll go like I check in maybe once or twice a week, and I'm just gonna see all the members are lactating James, and I'm gonna Ricks.
I'm just gonna sit there with a tear coming down my eye and say, "I love our fans.
I love it. We
I already love our
appreciate it.
fans, but I already love our fans as it is. But I'll love y'all even more if I see multiple lactating James.
I love this.
Thank you,
community.
listeners.
Well, for now, thank you very much for joining us and having a good time with our conversations. And very much
course.
also thank you for listening. So it's actually been fantastic that we have people that we can pull into these shows and they talk about listening to us. It's interesting, weird a little, but that's because I expected to have 0. So this is great.
I mean, the show is entertaining, and I've actually learned things.
Wow,
So-
that's a novelty.
Yeah,
We did
I know.
it.
At the end of the day, that is the goal, is to like educate people in like in a very entertaining way. But I think you're the first person that said they've learned something other than listening to our rambling.
I mean, you'll like today's episode whenever it goes live because my friend today, this is
I
gonna
would
be
say
me revealing
we
the
were a
topic
lot
too.
more informative in the early days.
Yeah, we got a lot more relaxed.
This is much more fun.
we started really getting like
We're still informative, but
we don't. It's not just
Now it's
word
about
vomit.
character.
Well,
I was gonna say
speaking-
it's not word vomit.
Speaking
for
of
an hour.
informative, I'm going to use this as a way to drop the topic. We're going to actually be talking about the Forerunner composer tech today. Yeah, so this will
I
be
was
a good time.
actually going to go in the Q&A at some point and ask about that because I was curious.
How many-
Well, now
I've
think of
been
another
curious.
question.
I mean, it's going to be a while before we get to you. We're still only going like 5 at a time, but I'm going to have to up that number because I got 5 yesterday in Q&A. So
The Q&A
Yeah,
is
no,
personally like my
I
favorite.
think I
part
saw
of the
that
show.
because the Q&A just went up by a ton
yeah,
in like an hour.
it was ridiculous. So if you want to throw in questions down there, of course, I'm actually going to make today a 10-question day just because I'm going to need that.
This is gonna be fun. I'm gonna
Yeah,
enjoy the Q.
it'll be a good time.
I imagine there's not a lot to get into, like that we know about the composers.
Well, no, there's actually a lot.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, novels.
I'm a novice about the Forerunners because I don't really care.
I just want to chill.
I know that is probably a hot take. That is a really hot take.
Yeah. You're on this show. You're sitting
Yeah.
on this couch, but you've lost your rank of master.
Anything that has anything to do with like technologies, like before the show, or just like deep technology stuff, like deep secret stuff. That's the stuff I love. So this is. I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. Well,
I mean,
what was you gonna say?
Honestly, I was going to say, episode 2, though, because you guys were talking about being informative in the early days. Episode 2 helped me get through Cryptum, because if I hadn't have listened to episode 2 or like any of the show before I started listening to the audiobooks, I would have been so confused through Cryptum. It would not have been funny. Like, I would have had to go back chapters and listen to it like one chapter at a time per day.
I appreciate
And
that.
so-
I bet it was an Austin monologue episode.
You hear that, guys? You hear that, guys? You 3 did a good job on episode 2.
Yeah, thanks, Connor.
Thanks, Connor.
You got to sit at the sidelines and
Connor
watch
was
everyone
there.
else have fun.
He was actually there.
Was he in the call?
He might have been. Who knows?
Episode
actually.
2.
Episode 2 was the Forerunners.
Yes.
We would, oh, God,
I don't. Here's. I don't know. I'm pretty
sure.
sure like we didn't like have him in the call when we were doing the main. It was the after show when we brought him in. I don't think he was on the main show, but when we did the after show, that's when we would let him in to like at least talk or listen a little bit.
Yeah.
But the main show, since he wasn't like involved in it, I don't think we were like, no, we'll just pick you up after.
I do love that episode though. I'm glad that you actually got something out of that, because that was one of my, even though it's the second one, it's still one of my favorites that we've ever done, just because of the principle of the thing. It had a lot of, I don't know. It was sort of a way of, I know for me and Brian, it was our way of proving that we actually retained the stuff that we were trying to learn about the Forerunners.
And I was bored. I was very, 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 very bored.
How about you, James?
Okay.
You
Here's
were
the thing.
bored.
No,
Say
let me.
Say
I'm
it.
getting there. Yes.
Okay.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
I would have been less bored if I we were still new to the whole podcast thing. If there was like a chance, or if simply one of the other two would have been like, James, what's your opinion on this? I could have at least tried to formulate thoughts. But because we would go like 30 minutes without an opening for me to speak, I would kind of just zone and I'd be like,
And
what's going on?
Austin and Brian did do that on occasion, but like me and James were a hell of a lot less involved. It would, like, again, there would be like 30, 40-minute conversations out of the whole hour, maybe 50 minutes of the show, where I'd just be sitting there playing Minecraft while Austin and Brian just talked the whole
Shout
time.
out to the
this-
one time that you tried to get a tack nuke and-
I'm getting there. Okay. I was gonna say, this is the era that birthed me trying to get a nuke in MW2 during recording, because I was like, I don't know what we're talking about. We're going in 7 different directions before I can formulate an opinion on anything. I'm going to try and get a nuke. And I got really close and I made my disappointment too loud. So I had to share with the class.
Yep. Good times.
Died 3 off or something. I don't remember what I said.
When we were I got like a really good rhythm out of nowhere. Like it just kind of became second nature. And I don't think James was very happy with me because I was getting a nuke
Okay.
like literally almost. There was
The only problem, it was not that you were getting nukes. It was you're just getting your Harrier before I was at like 5 kills. So it was just chalked. Like I was like, well, my chances are over.
You asked me about it, and there was points where I intentionally didn't call in my kill streaks until like you were either died on yours or you called yours in.
Yeah.
There was a few points
I
where
appreciated
I stopped.
that.
Yes. I was
Like
gonna
I
say
said, I was never mad that you were getting nukes.
the thrill.
It was the combination of how many you were getting and how many I was not getting.
Yeah, I gave up.
There.
I gave up.
I ended up in that entire run getting 2.
2. Oh gosh. Well,
You lost
funny
count
you mentioned
probably.
Minecraft,
Before,
as I've been playing
before we get too
Minecraft
off
as
track,
well.
we're gonna sign off for now and get back onto the show. But thank you very much for joining
At
us.
this point, you were
nevertheless.
basically a whole like guest.
Yeah. So congratulations. You basically got a taste of the new way that I kind of want to handle these quiz things, is more like small guests.
Sorry, other guys who did the guest were kicking you out as soon. We kicked you out as soon as you were done.
I just experimentation,
I like
requires
it.
sacrifice.
I like it.
I mean, if you are open to guests, I would say if you ever want to do a guest show, like if you write my name down, I'm down.
We just honestly, I
Be our
did want
top patron in the.
Oh my gosh!
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
to-
But that is a
I was
going to
bring on all of the winners,
that
so you're
tier.
on a list. Trust me, you're on a list now.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So thank you very much again for joining us. We'll be chatting in the Cord.
We love you.
We love you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate your guys' show and I love your guys' bits. It's awesome.
Thank you. Oh, I am my heart.
All right, man. We'll have a good time on PUBG if you can.
Adios, man.
Yeah, I'll try. You guys have a good conversation. Can't wait to listen to the episode.
Oh, we won't.
So kind of going back to like our like having a list of the winners, like we should definitely get the winners of the questions and still like double down on the whole Kahoot idea one day.
Oh, we are.
Like get all the win instead of like having just random people, like just take the winners of the questions and just throw them all in there and just watch them go to town.
Speaking of interesting ideas, I think it was Connor's idea.
What?
Coming in the future.
Huh?
Yes.
What?
The library goes musical.
Oh God.
Yes,
We
need it
will
to
do a
happen.
karaoke night.
Oh my gosh, we're actually. I can't.
I'm announcing it live on air. It's real now.
What are you going to be singing? Just Halo songs?
No.
I think we should gather a census of what the Discord and see what everyone says if they want a karaoke night. But
I feel like this is more of like an after show type deal though.
Oh, who knows, man? I don't know anymore.
I hope this doesn't turn into a false promise that I just made. But I thought what the hell?
If it doesn't gain any traction, Austin can just like edit this out. Like if we
who
really,
knows? Who knows?
if like by next week we completely forget about it, Austin would just cut this out.
yeah.
I say we let the people decide if they want a karaoke night.
Well, everyone in the stream said that I sang very on key when I was singing One Final Effort at the end of Halo 3.
Yes, they did enjoy listening to you sing. It was a good
Speaking of our,
They haven't heard me sing
oh,
Careless Whisper
speak-
yet.
God. Speaking,
I wanna hear that.
Speaking of our fans and in the Discord, I don't know who it was the other day, but they were talking like we really, like you said, Austin, we opened a can of worms with the whole like who has the worst laugh. Like it keeps going back and forth.
Yeah.
And someone tagged me and they were like, at Shane O'Mac has the worst laugh, but he has such a soothing voice, so it's okay. And I added him back and I said, yeah, your mother agrees. And the whole chat was like, oh shit. I don't know who it was, but I want to formally apologize for absolutely nothing. I don't regret it at all. I got to bring out my inner Conor McGregor. I want to take this moment to apologize.
I would love
for
to
absolutely
apologize.
nothing. The champ does whatever the hell he wants.
The inconvenience of me not giving up.
Give me your
Make
belt.
sure you, God. Austin, make sure you hit the button.
I'm not hitting any buttons. I've already told you this. I don't feel like doing that. I'm going to listen to the entire episode before I put it up.
Okay. Cool, man. All right. Just trying to make your job easier. You do
No,
that.
I've made it harder because I don't want to hold my laptop or risk bending over and all of that and messing something up. And you know
Well,
me, I
right.
don't bend over.
Huh?
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 Hey there, Halo fans. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with our friends right after these messages.
Gentlemen, ladies, if you want to support us, you can go to discord.gg/JumperScape. Join the community. Have a good time with us. Hang out with us. We just had a whole conversation. What are you saying?
I did not realize how many lactating.
Dude, there's a lot in
There's
there.
an army.
Is currently,
There's an army.
There's currently 12.
Uh-huh.
That's a lot.
Out of 300.
That's like 5 more than what you actually need.
Need? You need 7. No more than that.
No. There's always 7. Never more.
Never more.
less.
I'm gonna shout out every single one of them.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no! Why did you do this, Gunny?
And Gunny, yeah, he joined it.
Lactating Gunny.
My favorite.
Lactation of stewardship.
My favorite is
UNSC frigate I'm reading all of them.
okay.
UNSC frigate lactation. Father Lactation.
That's so gross.
Admiral of Lactation. Lactation of Truth. Lactation of Mercy. Lactation of Regret.
That's great. That is funny. That's good.
Lactating Superintendent. Lactating Sergeant Johnson.
Oh my God, I'm gonna vomit.
Lactating Milk. We know him. And Lactating Gator.
I hate him.
Gator, the one that started everything.
The OG. He's patient zero.
Yeah, if you want to join them, you can go to discord.gg/JumperScape. If you want to support us directly and, make this whole studio thing that we're setting up a bit easier, you can go to patreon.com/JumperScape. We also now have a coffee. It's spelled KO-FI. ko-fi.com/JumperScape. That's more of a direct support thing if you don't want to dedicate yourself to a subscription. That's more like, hey, you can. It's a free gift thing. If you want to support us directly, that's a good way to do it. If you want to get on the show, there's the Q&As that we're currently still doing that have signups. I'm going to put a link to it in the server today at some point. And aside from all of that, we also have our patrons that we need to acknowledge, which I, of course, have the app pulled up already, so I'm absolutely prepared.
He's pulling it up right now.
No, I'm not.
He's pulling it up
I'm not.
as we
He's
speak.
actively pulling
He's
it
doing
up.
it right now.
No, I'm not.
He was not prepared.
No, I'm not.
We like to have fun here.
No, I'm not.
I'm just gonna keep
We like to
saying-
consider ourselves a chill workplace.
I'm just gonna keep
We're like
saying that at the
family.
worst times. We like to have fun here. Like if we're gonna get in like a really heated debate or something goofy is gonna happen or something like completely tragic is gonna happen, I'm just gonna keep saying we like to have fun here.
Dude,
I feel like we've only had one heated debate, and it was on an after show that is not even able to be viewed anymore.
Was that the Battle Royale one?
Yeah, it was the Battle Royale
Yeah.
one. Yeah,
That was a good conversation. I'm
Yeah,
kind of
where I
upset.
said that Battle Royales are all terrible.
Which is a very wrong take. That is an absolute.
The way
They can
the
be done
games,
right.
the games,
Let's
the way,
not-
the way
let's-
that no, I'm just summarizing.
No, no, no,
Just
here we
so that
go.
people understand. I'm just summarizing the way that I had explained it was, I think the games can be good. The concept itself can be infectious to a franchise and kill it. Because basically, I used Apex Legends. It's been stated directly that the reason why Titanfall 3 didn't happen was because Apex kicked off, and so they canceled it right when it was about to be finished.
That sucks. That's because more people like Apex than Titanfall, which I know is incorrect because Titanfall's a better game.
Titanfall's great.
Titanfall's
Titanfall's a more complete game.
Welcome to the industry.
The thing is,
it doesn't mean I have to like the industry.
Yes,
the
but
thing is,
the
Apex
statement-
Legends came at a time. It was at the time it was extremely unique to the battle royale genre.
Yeah.
At the time when it
And
came out,
The thing is, when you say all battle royales are bad, that's taking an opinion and stating it as fact. That's the problem I have. I don't even necessarily disagree with you completely.
Well, then I think that all battle royales are bad.
It's okay to be wrong.
That's my opinion.
It's already
I
happened a
don't
couple
like it.
times on this episode.
I don't like any of them.
Oof.
That's rough, man. Oh my gosh. You gotta make it personal.
All right, how about this? What battle royales have been done right?
this is a conversation for the after show.
It is.
Fine.
I was gonna say that this is like this is we're straying
They
pretty
said
good.
I said we were missing spicy, so I got a little spicy.
So
We were missing spicy. Let me just cause a problem.
we like to have fun here.
There you go.
There we go.
We got a shot off.
Okay, I was saying. Okay, so on to our subject matter of the day.
No,
Austin.
Patreon.
Oh, hurry up.
You guys were talking.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
So at our $50 tier, Chieftain, Dark Salad 42, still supporting us. Love you. At our Oni tier, we have 3 Oni people now. We have Dick Hammerbush. We have It's Default
Connor
456.
Default. If I ever see you in real life, it's on site. Default. We have beef.
I love you, Default.
And lastly, Mr. Shifter. And I love Mr. Shifter.
Mr.
I love
Shifter's
that
a good
username.
name.
On to our specialists. We have 2 of them. We have Kyle Hooley and Mo Maggot Yallin. You guys are great. Love you. Love you.
Shout out to Mo Magan for being in the stream and being very active the other day.
Yes, that was fantastic. Thank you for that. Then we have our Hell Jumpers. We have Connor Clark, Lactating Milk, and Tom Church. He changed his name on Patreon.
I respect committing to the bit.
Then we have our Marines. We have Brennan Pfeiffer, Eliza, and OG himself, Lactating Gator. There are 4 Marines, Vermin. I missed that one. I thought he was in the cadets.
Wasn't Vermin in the stream too?
Yeah, Vermin was there.
Yep.
Then we have our cadets. We have a lot of them these days. We have Aussie ODST, Austin Taylor, Damian Groth, Dragon Eye, Drew Ledbetter, Hayden Hamilton, Jacob Adlam, Pity 104, Tyler Neal, Wraith, X3tian, and Warm Applesauce.
Very epic. We all love you.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Tyler was also in the stream.
Tyler was in fact in the stream. Yes.
Shout out to the people who are in the
Oh,
stream.
Yes,
quick
thank you
anecdote.
to everyone who came out to the
I was
stream. It
doing
was a good
something
time.
JumperScape related.
Hmm?
I was doing something JumperScape related,
Okay.
and someone showed me a thing for JumperScape, and I just realized I had this horrific moment where I said, "Let me show my boss."
You showed your boss JumperScape?
You.
Me. Oh.
It was some.
Oh.
The reason I said it like that because I was like, it's easier to easier to say explain like that. I don't feel you're not my boss, but like it is.
no.
Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Do I make every decision? What was this show? My idea is everything that is currently happening because I made it happen. We probably shouldn't take it. But no, I'm not your boss.
I want everyone to know he started basking like he was a humble god or something just now.
Where's my fucking grapes?
Did I not come up with this podcast?
Did I not do as I said that I would do?
I have gathered you all here today to discuss Halo.
And I hope that you don't mind that I include you because I could find anyone else to replace you.
It is a privilege.
But it's okay because this sort of thing is why we have other shows coming up soon, don't we?
Yeah.
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 You don't know anything about that, Shane.
Stay tuned for details.
You don't know anything about that, Shane. You don't know anything about that. Don't act like you know.
I think I do.
I'm pretty sure he does.
He probably does. I'm just
Yes,
messing
I'm
with
pretty
I was
sure.
gonna say, I'm like, why are
I'm
you
pretty sure I
I'm just,
pitched
I'm
it.
just gaslighting
He
him.
pitched it to me.
I'm gaslighting.
Why
Having a good time.
We like to have fun here.
We have like
we like that fun here. Announcements coming soon.
Also, I got it wrong. Warm applesauce is a civilian, not a cadet.
Wow.
Add it to the tally.
My brain is not running on all cylinders. I ask for
You mean
for
firing
grace.
on all cylinders? We like to have fun here. That's gonna be like my shtick. That's like my niche here. I found my personality for the show. I found my quotes.
This is definitely the most I've laughed in an episode. So
This
I
is
think
truly
people are
a
having
Why does it got to be
podcast.
at my expense?
This is
I don't know.
this is truly a podcast of all time.
Isn't this fantastic? Just four dudes just sitting
four
around
guys.
on concrete with
gathered around a dehumidifier.
and a
candle.
Guys being
candle.
dudes.
and a TV from the 80s, I think.
I think that's 90s actually. It's because it's not an original design. It's like a ripoff, not a real tube TV kind of in a way.
Who are you to judge?
Judge.
I'm sure it's a lovely TV with a great personality.
It's really not.
Dude,
It's kind of. I've tried running Halo 2 on it. You can't tell what's happening. It's so low resolution.
I feel like that's like just classic Halo 2 on the
No,
Xbox, though.
I listen. I used to own one of those TVs in my bedroom as well as any kid probably did.
Did you
if
play
were
it
lucky
on
enough.
an original Xbox?
Yes.
Because
Here's the thing. That CRT is actually damaged. That's why. I'm not saying that CRT is just like all CRTs just look terrible. That's how it is. That CRT is terrible. Most CRTs though, the games that were made for the CRT, they look better on the CRT because they were made for it. That's why some 8-bit games look pretty terrible in comparison to their original style because like CRT would blend the pixels together. It was really neat. Anyway, what did you do to yourself, Shane?
Not just random pain, body aches, man. It just
growing
happens.
pains.
Yeah, sure.
Getting old is fun.
Yeah. And then combine that with lifting heavy circles does not help.
yeah, I don't know if anyone else knows this, but Shane is actually 12. He just hit puberty.
Very impressive voice drop speed. It happened like that.
I don't know how to process this conversation. I legit was trying to think of something witty to say, but like Shane is actually 12. I don't know how to handle
We have fun here on the
I
show.
Sounds like
I-
a way a 12-year-old would handle that.
I kind of wish
We
that
consider
was
this
true.
a chill workplace.
Guys, I got school tomorrow.
I thought it's not break yet.
I got it. No, not yet.
Okay.
I got to go load up Minecraft Xbox 360 edition.
Oh gosh, that was a
Play
good
some
time.
Black Ops 2
Or Battlefield 3.
or Battlefield 3.
Or Reach.
The future's black.
I loved those trailers. Those were awesome. I loved those. They
I
were
remember-
fantastic.
Nova, his reaction to it was so funny. There was an old YouTuber I used to watch, and he reacted.
Haxer.
Yes, Uber Haxer Nova,
and
and he reacted to the
Wool.
don't get me started on Wool. And he reacted to the Black Ops 2 trailer, and when it across the screen, the future is black. He just absolutely lost it. The trend was just it was all over the place when the trailer came out. It was just it was funny. It was a good time.
All right.
We had fun there.
We did.
Gentlemen, it's time to talk about Halo.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Might as well do what we're supposed to be doing on here.
Now, to be fair, we're only 40 minutes into the episode.
Oh my god.
Whoopsies.
Well, we got 20 minutes to talk about Halo.
We don't actually have I've been trying to end it on an hour, but I've been kind of like occasionally trying to get it so that it's out to roughly what, like maybe closer to like 2, not on purpose. I just have it so that if it goes out that long, it's fine. It's actually pretty great sometimes. Also, what are you guys doing with my deck?
Huh? I keep extending my shoe keeps getting caught on the cables and like slides it towards me, so I'm just backing away from it.
Yeah, good call.
Between me and James and Shane, there's a good 3-way heart attack that just happened.
Yeah, it was
I couldn't even hold it back. You could probably still hear me in the background going, "Stop right here."
no, I moved at least another foot back. I'm probably gonna move further.
I think my eyes opened the widest.
This
they have
setup is
today.
just not convenient. It's really
it's
not.
not.
It is not ideal, but this should be a one-time thing.
Yep, because I'm gonna be
Damn,
fixing
does
this.
thing recline.
Yeah, it reclines.
Please watch the cables.
So
probably
it's
bad
not the best
idea.
recline. It's all right.
That was nothing.
Yeah,
That was literally raising my feet to here.
Well, you have to kick your feet. It's one of those ones where you have to like let it do its thing.
I'm not
But-
going to do that. I'm pretty far from any wire disasters, but I still ain't taking a chance.
I would not.
Good call.
Oh yeah, no, my feet are glued to the ground.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I moved back and I'm like pointing. I'm like my feet are on the wheels of the chair.
I want everyone to know Connor wears Uggs.
There is nothing wrong. I'll have you know that I'm on a scale of 10 of comfortability.
Connor, have you played Halo 4?
I have.
You have played Halo 4.
I have.
I remember one of
It
the
was-
first times
I
Of
brought up a
Connor.
memory about it.
one of the first times he played Halo 4 as a multiplayer. Like it was us. There was you, Austin, James, Bryant, me, and Connor, and we were playing Big Team Battle. And me, Bryant, Austin, and James were like just trying to get done. We're trying to win. It's capture the flag.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, well, where the hell is Connor? I roam around the map. I found Connor just on the edge of the map, just looking out into the sky, and he's picking up every gun he can find and just firing it.
Okay.
And he's like, the sound design in this game is super cool. Meanwhile, we're fighting for our damn lives. And Connor's just off in La La Land. Just he picks up an assault rifle, mag dumps it, takes about 10 steps backward, picks up a battle rifle, and just starts firing it. Finds a plasma carbine, he keeps shooting it. And he's like, wow, this kid, like he's just talking about like the scenery and the sound design. He's like, the sound design is really good. And I'm like, and us four are just fighting for our freaking lives. And he's just over here messing around with the guns.
Connor, were you high?
Was this before or after?
I'm pretty sure you weren't. I don't think you were.
Was this
You
before
might.
or after high school?
It was after. I think you actually might have been because you were in college.
Oh no.
There's a smaller
And you
there's
were
a greater
Cooked.
chance. Yeah, there's, I probably was considering I don't remember this at all.
But it was just very funny. I forget what it was, like a desert map with a cliff by it. I'm not good with Halo 4 maps. But he was just off by a cliff, just mag dumping every gun he could find, just like, oh my gosh. And you just hear him like make subtle comments to himself. Meanwhile, the rest of us are like giving call outs, like cooperating and trying to win the match. And Connor's just off in freaking La La Land doing whatever the hell Connor does on Halo 4.
Well, gentlemen, the reason why I ask if you've played Halo 4, Connor, is because you now can join in this conversation. You'll know
It's been
I don't
years.
think he's played the campaign though.
Have you not played the campaign?
I got through a good portion of it.
Connor.
But yet again, it's been years.
Connor.
No, I played.
I'll have to take him through it.
I would like
will.
to say there's a good chance I beat it because
Or-
I always enjoyed the campaigns.
He gets to do it on stream.
So we can.
Yeah. Okay, listen, here's the thing. Dear listener, there is a Q&A on Spotify right now. You probably haven't touched that before, just betting off of the information. Believe it or not, 90% of my viewers are not subscribed. One of those situations. So if you're listening to this, if you've never answered a Q&A before, you should really answer this one because it's going to be asking you, should we host streams sooner rather than later? Should we stop planning and just execute? Should we stop lollygagging and make the plan happen? So on and so forth. Should we play more Halo? Because there's a lot to play. It's not just the main games that we're talking about here. We're talking about the modded playthroughs. We're talking about 4-man Halo 3 cursed Halo style.
And I will say I am coming to PC very soon.
Connor releasing on PC very soon.
I can't wait to get a PC.
I'll wait for the Steam sale.
Connor, let me be real here, man.
Steam
I would
sales
not pay
will kill
full
me.
price for you.
Oh no.
I would wait for like
Don't.
the summer sale.
I will probably have to do. There's a lot.
Oh,
of
I mean,
games
here's-
I'll be
I mean-
waiting for.
How soon are you going to get one? Because I mean, the way you're talking, it might line up with the summer sale.
within,
will it be
within the next 3 weeks.
Oh wow. Oh, all right. Cool.
Christmas sales,
Yep.
those exist.
Yep.
Yep. Right
Yep.
now we're just waiting for things to fall into place.
So here's the thing. We're talking about Halo 4 today because we're talking about the composer specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Perspifically. The composer. Who can tell me what the composer was?
It composes people.
What does that mean?
It transfers them into a digital form.
How so?
People get bleamed.
There's a
It
beam,
bleams.
and then they
It bleams.
turn into orange powder.
Right. And then it converts their consciousness into a digital imprint that then can be used at a later time. That's what you're
Yes.
going to say, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
R.I.P.
pretty much what I said. But you put
R.I.P.
nerdy words in it.
R.I.P. Phoenix.
Phoenix. Yeah.
Every the rest of the world is fine. Just Phoenix.
New
Phoenix.
Phoenix.
I'm sorry. New Phoenix in particular says the Didact.
We like to have fun here.
Don't take Shane's
I was gonna say,
I'm sorry.
You can no, it's okay, but
I
just
thought
you're
I had a
bestowing
zinger.
You're bestowing it upon us. We're allowed to
yes,
use
you
it.
guys can say, it, but I'm trying to make that my thing. I want to have a personality. I don't want to
Okay.
be just a shell.
Shane has waited approximately 39 episodes, I think, to want to develop a personality.
He wants to have a personality. He doesn't want to be uninformed but ready to learn.
No, I do not.
I really don't remember what I wrote for you. I know it's better now, though. It's not that.
I mean, what do you mean? Like you don't remember what I wrote? Like what?
I don't
you
remember
recently-
what I updated it to. I don't remember.
Something about me being like getting like better as far as like lore goes, but still wanting to learn more.
Something along those lines.
Yeah, and Connor is something about a gravity. Connor's something about a gravity hammer. I'm like, of course it is. Of course.
I love my big hammers.
Yeah, he's explosions and hammers, baby. That's his style.
Connor is
And big
here.
guns.
Connor is here for the best purpose. The purest form of audience surrogate. And that is
He is a bridge. From
he
us
has
to you
literally
guys.
no idea what we're talking about 90% of the time.
But when I do, I feel proud of myself.
Like that one
And that's not a dig. Like there's people who just don't know all the Halo stuff. Duh.
like that
yeah.
time that he said that Kratos would be the best sci-fi hero to take down the cheat.
I was playing zombies and I had a headset on. I missed that part.
Technically, his first episode he was ever in. Technically.
I was trying not to.
Wasn't
make
he on
any
a
noise.
random after show that probably is not able to be viewed anymore?
he was in quite a few after shows before the era that we had to delete him because we were just restarting the whole thing because it just got annoying to keep track of. Like I had to restart it mostly. Like aside from the fact that it had conversations that were like, I don't know, we were a bit too whiny about Halo in a lot of them, and some of them after talking with people we were a little unfair about a lot of things. So I was just like, I don't know if I want to attach this permanently to the record. So, but aside from that, composer. So yes, the way that the composer works is that it's a gigantic device that can float over a territory and then convert digital, like it can convert any I'm pretty sure it's just any living creature that has the cognitive ability for things like sentience and all of that. Like it's fully aware of its own existence and not just a brain dead like a cow or something, a heifer, if you will. It will transfer that being into a digital imprint, and that digital imprint can be applied to pretty much anything. This could be a digital imprint that gets thrown into something like a Promethean soldier, or it could be a digital imprint that's thrown into something like a monitor, or it could be a digital imprint that's actually thrown into a future human being that will then have memories of that past human being, and that past human being can be used to guide that future human being. That happened in Primordium. So lots of stuff that you can do with that. But it's also a war crime machine.
Poor New Phoenix.
I'm not exactly sure if the Forerunners had the equivalent of a Geneva Convention, but if they did, the Didact broke it multiple times. It's a good way to put that. You can quote me on that.
The one thing about, like, obviously, like, I kind of wish you could see like what happened on New Phoenix, but I mean, on the space station,
Yikes.
Yeah, like that I was really caught off guard, where you got a close up of like everyone just getting absolutely disintegrated.
Mm-hmm.
It freaked me the hell out, because I mean there's gore in Halo with, as far as like, I mean, the flood and all that kind of stuff, but it's just like when it came to like something like that in a game where, you know, the flood isn't a point of emphasis or even like present in the game.
Yeah.
Like I didn't expect. I mean, you can technically classify that as gore because it like went through layers of their body, like skin, tissue, bones, and then dust.
Yep.
And it was like right in front of you. They didn't like. They did it. I want to say like they did it for shock, like a shock factor almost. Like they wanted to like catch you off guard. I didn't expect it.
No, I didn't either. But I was appreciative that we went that far for once.
Yeah.
Because Halo really should. I think it's part of the vibe.
They're backtracking these days a lot when it comes to the blood and the violence and all that
kind of interesting
stuff.
thing. You know how they say that Halo was meant to be a rated M title?
Yes.
Well, a funny thing about that is that Halo Combat Evolved actually wasn't originally rated M. It was rated T. And same thing was going to happen with Halo 2 and Halo 3. Like the ESRB basically last minute changed their mind for really no reason. Like you could even find documents of Bungie employees talking about it. They just randomly were just like, we're going to have to make a last minute change. These are rated M now. And they didn't really give a reason. The suspicion is either A, Cortana's appearance, B, the flood, or that's it. But
gotta be the flood.
I'd say the flood is probably.
But they didn't give a reason. They didn't even say that the flood was necessarily bad. The
Right.
ESRB didn't say that it was a bad thing to have. They could have still gave it a T.
Right.
No clue why it's M.
If I were to guess, it's probably would be showing the soldiers being distressed about the flood and everything, because
Maybe.
that can get to some people.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? But it's still a fascinating thing. Also, speaking of rating stuff, I found out there actually has been an F-bomb in Halo.
In a book?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but,
obviously. No way, man.
but it was made into an animated motion comic that was published on YouTube.
What book?
Heart of Midlothian. Something in the heart of the Midlothian. So the Midlothian, the heart of Midlothian is a UNSC ship.
Yep.
This ship gets invaded by Covenant forces.
Mhm.
The only person that can defend it is this ODST, who is out of gear and only has the shipboard AI to support him.
Okay.
He's Scottish, and he ends up defending this ship by himself. I'm pretty sure he dies by the end. I didn't get to finish it. But somewhere in there, he says that the UNSC ships are a cluster. And also through the whole thing, he's saying like shit and stuff like that, which shit is also a word that has only appeared in the Halo franchise one time. So at least like officially in the games. So apparently it's happened before. This is a long time ago, so it's not going to be a sign of something changing anytime soon. Midlothian was like 2014 or something. 2012 maybe. But it's still fascinating. I just kind of realized it. Somebody had mentioned that in I think they had what was it? It had to have been somewhere in our circles, like in our YouTube comments maybe. I think it was in our YouTube comments on the library. It was fascinating, nevertheless.
I would have loved to have seen your initial reaction to going, What do you mean there's an F-bomb in Halo?
I mean, realistically, it was very much just like my eyebrows raised and my eyes widened a little bit, and I audibly went, "Wait, what?"
Something else that should be in a main game that's in a book.
You want f***ing in Halo?
Yes.
Please add sex to Halo at your earliest convenience.
Halo,
All
the
of it.
sex mod.
You know, that's actually like there's a thing. There's a game. No, listen.
I don't
listen,
know.
Hear me
I
out,
don't.
hear me out,
I
hear me
don't
out.
want to hear you out.
No, it's not about that. There's a game called Cult of the Lamb, and it's a fun game, really fun. It's a combination of a lot of things. And Cult of the Lamb has a very fun dev team. And at one point, they said if we hit 300,000 followers on Twitter before the end of the year, we'll add sex to the game. And so everyone thought that was a joke, so they poked at it. They now have 500,000 followers on Twitter, and they were like,
the devs are like, oh.
And they all they did was they posted a screenshot of the social media manager texting the lead dev, and he says, "You want us to add what?" And now it's in the update changelog. They're adding it.
I respect it.
That's awesome.
But it's tasteful. They're throwing it in a way that makes sense for the game. But it's really funny that they're doing it. Now you can build a village in that game, and now you can have your villagers reproduce. It's basically the whole idea.
I couldn't imagine being like the head dude in
Minecraft
charge,
2.0.
and then hearing your team go, "You want to add what?"
It's like,
What?
dude, you've got to be kidding me. I know it's not a perfect quote. I know he says something a lot funnier than that, but it's basically the gist of it.
Still, along the lines of that, still funny.
Still funny.
Hey there, Halo fans. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with our friends right after these messages.
The composer.
Yeah.
We keep going off track today. Apologies. It's been a long day.
It's one of those days.
It's
I think the brain yearns for casual conversation.
Right now it does, yeah. But I want to get to the casual conversation relating to the composer because it gets really interesting really fast. So first and foremost, when the composers were made and used originally 100,000 years ago, their whole purpose was basically categorizing and collecting mostly human digital imprints. But at some point, they were used for something else. What else could they possibly be used for? I'm glad that you asked. The whole concept that the Didact had was he took his Promethean warriors, these very, very old Forerunners that were in a special class called Prometheans. The flood had to become a problem. And so he was like, well, my warriors, would you like to become digital beetles? And they were like, yep. And so he converted all of his Promethean warriors, including all of his children, into various different kinds of Promethean warriors, including something called a war sphinx. They're like these fancy, I think they're like a fighter craft of some kind, but they're like automated. I don't know what they are exactly. They're a flying craft of some kind that operate as like a defensive tactic. And he had a lot of kids, so he had a lot of war sphinxes. All of his Prometheans, not a single one, I think, said no to the process of composing. So they all got composed. As we all know from seeing it, it's not a very painless solution. So shout out to them for thinking that was a good idea. Now, granted, it did help. The flood can't infect digital beings, whoop-de-doo. However, you do automatically become worse at fighting because it's just the way of things. I don't know. I just refuse to believe that Prometheans, as soon as they got transformed into weird beetles, they just stopped being good at fighting because they were the best.
They had to completely change everything they had.
Yeah, everything got digitized. And then eventually, the Didact realized that he was still getting overrun a little bit too much by the flood. So he decided, well, we have Gamma Halo here that has a whole bunch of these humans. And I am incredibly racist against humans. So I'm just going to, like, right in front of my wife, who loves them, compose all of them. And so she runs up to this. She like watches him as he just boom, and all of them get digitized in this small civilization that they like. To be clear, this was after Didact and his forces had already sent humanity back to caveman times. Like, he de-evolved them. He had kicked their ass so hard. They were once a spacefaring race that were able to fight the Flood and the Forerunners at the same time while having a smaller fleet than both of those armies. So they were great. and they got resorted back to playing with sticks and a circle.
Which is wild because like I'm pretty I don't know if it was like in a book or in a game, but like the Covenant talk about like how inferior human tech is. So like imagine how far along they were and how like mind blowing being reverted back that far.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine like you can't fathom like the UNSC's tech is like considered dated and just inferior, and like then they go back like and then millions of years beforehand they go back to caveman status. Like that is just that is like unfathomable to me.
It's wild. It's actually
like you're a bug to them at that point. You're literally an insect, like just surviving, existing. That's all it is.
The librarian had to do a lot of tricks to make sure that it didn't happen. With the composition process, she was still able to take some of the imprints from these humans and put them into different humans, what she would call a gios. And basically the gios or gene song would make it so that they would have an urge or a desire at a certain time that's like by her timing for it to suddenly happen. In the case of, let's say, Chalkus, you'll know him in a second, unless you remember me talking about him before. Chalkus and his buddy Riser, both of them had this sudden urge to help this random Forerunner kid, born stellar, makes eternal lasting, go and free the Didact. And so they just happened to know exactly how to get to the Didact. It was just inexplicable. And it was basically the librarian had gave them every single bit of information that they needed for the exact time that they needed it in order to get the Didact out from his tomb or his cryptum. And the way that worked for us eventually is Chalkus, eventually in Primordium. If you haven't finished that book, Non-Zero Milk MT, you're going to want to stop listening to me. In Primordium, he ends up having the Gios of Forthensho, or the Lord of Admirals, basically the original Lord Hood, if you want to compare. He was the fleet master of the entirety of humanity's fleets, and he was awesome. We love him. Like, he was a one-to-one contender with the Didact. He was a very good strategist. He had the imprint of Forthensho in his head, and that was important because basically this guy was trying to convince Chalkus that humanity wasn't really like their mistakes had to be atoned for eventually. So it's likely a manipulated imprint, but Chalkus, out of all of that, eventually he gets composed. Chalkus, when he gets composed in this book, it's terrifying because they explain what it feels like to get composed. He describes it as like you try to open your eyes, but when you open them, there's nothing there. Then you try to look down at your hand, and your arm is not there. You try to move your feet, and your feet feel like they're moving, but there's nothing there. And eventually, he is a monitor, and it's 343 Guilty Spark. And so, Guilty Spark, we know his origin story now, and it's terrifying because you just get kind of watch him lose his humanity very slowly. And he has no idea how to deal with it. Eventually, though, his fear is just gone because he can't feel it anymore. Like, he just is strictly information and upfront.
Protocol.
Exactly.
Information and protocol. That's all Spark is.
Uh-huh. We even get the really neat conversation in Halo Combat Evolved. 343 is like, before you had asked me, if it were my decision, would I do it? Referring to activating the rings. And he's like, I now have my answer the same as it was before. We have no choice. We must activate the ring. And in this book, we get that first conversation finally between the Didact and Guilty Spark, where Didact is like, if you were in my position, what would you do? And he answers. And that's the first time we actually get to see the answer. But aside from that horrific example of the composer, there's only one other time that we get to see it in action. This time up close and personal, especially if you were a New Phoenix, where, you know, you get turned into just dust, you get snapped, and you're gone. Basically, Didact had a twofold plan there. There was the plan of just wiping out humanity, but he also wanted to just revive the Forerunner army. So he was wanting to create a whole new Promethean warrior culture in a way. Which is funny when it comes to Forerunners, because Forerunners, the way that they work is they go in and out of which rank is the famous one, the one that's like control of everything. at the time when the flood took over, the reason why they went horribly wrong was because the builders were like the top dogs and they controlled everything in the council. So when the warriors were like, hey, stop, there's something coming. We can do other things other than make these halo rings that aren't going to work. We know it's not going to work, but they were literally downgraded to the lowest rank because there wasn't a war for them to fight in. It's annoying. So Didact's idea of building shield worlds got thrown out for some reason because Faber, the master builder, is just a terrible, terrible person. But it's okay. He's dead now. Who cares? So with Halo 4 and the Composer, we get to kind of see it more as like a sort of like a point cannon. It's just on the nose of the Didact ship. But that Composer actually is not destroyed. Like it's still around, like kind of in a way. When Didact falls into the Composer, obviously he didn't get composed. If any of you have been around long enough in the Halo community, you know that Didact is not dead. Especially since he has a book coming out next February.
Of course he does.
We are all excited. Shut up. You want to know why we're excited? Didact is coming back to voice it for the audiobook.
That's cool.
Yes.
That is that is nice. That's
we
nice.
love his voice.
Considering how long it's been at this point since Halo 4. I mean, it's been more than 10 years. Oh my God.
Yep.
But and it's just it's nice to see someone like that come back. 'Cause
Yeah.
he was a great character, and I'm to an extent I'm glad he's coming back. But again, it's just something else. Like, why in the hell is it in a book? Like I want to see something. Like give me something.
That's the thing. It's just because he's been gone long enough. They're taking Halo 4 as like his official exit from the games. He hasn't really done anything outside of that because like
I mean, yeah.
James knows what happened with the Didact and Black Team at least because that went well.
He f***ed him up
Yeah.
pretty bad.
They sent a Spartan team to go and fight the Didact.
Didn't go well.
No, they all died. Which
Gives you a
sucks.
testament how badass Chief is. I mean, Chief probably would have died as well if it wasn't for Katana.
Chief and Blue Team take him on after Black Team gets killed. They do a pretty good job. They meet him on a ring. I'm pretty sure it was Gamma Halo again. Because the Didact had brought the Composer Forge.
When does this take place? Like the timeline?
This is like
game wise.
This is like a couple game wise.
Like we're in
between
the game.
Halo 4 and 5.
Really?
Yeah. Like before Halo 5, because like Halo 4 and 5 is a 6-year gap.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Like it.
Yeah. Or 4-year gap. My bad.
Something like that.
But anyway,
Close enough.
so the whole thing there was the Didact is trying to use this thing called the Composer Forge.
Yep.
You will never believe what it does.
I have no idea.
Forges composers.
It forges composers.
Wow.
So he's trying to use this Composer Forge to kind of just make more composers. And what ends up happening to him, I don't remember who pushes him in or uses it or whatever, but Blue Team or somebody around them working with them. I don't remember. I haven't seen this comic. This was a comic, not a book. They shove the Didact into the Composer Forge. And that has enough concentrated composing energy that the Didact gets composed. So what happens to the random floating around imprint? James, ask the question.
Huh?
Ask the question. What happens to the
one
random
What
floating
happens
around imprint?
to the
floating around
imprint?
I'm so glad that you asked, James.
I was wondering that too myself, James.
You're welcome, everybody. I ask the hard-hitting questions.
Well, you see, the composer is actually directly linked to the domain.
Yeah.
And that's significant because I don't know if you guys have remembered what the domain is or what it does. Did you even pay attention during library class?
Probably not. Like I said, hot take. Not big into the Forerunner stuff.
Which is strange because you're a Covenant guy. You should think of them as gods.
I know about as much as them as they do.
But they thought them as gods.
Yeah.
Just think of them as gods. Now
Yeah.
they're cool again.
But I don't have to think about like domains and composing and
I'm just picturing this as like
weird,
an elite saying this to me.
weird and like weird titles for warriors.
I don't want to think
and
about
what jobs they do.
composers and domains and whatever they do.
That's some geek's job. I just like the floating ring.
All right, so I got some pretty fun questions about the composer.
Sure, go ahead.
All right, so you said they gather or make digital imprints of everything, right?
Any fully sentient being, yes.
So would this include our group chats and all that stuff?
It would absorb all of your
Could you
memories,
imagine
all of your personality.
the just tomfoolery that they're gathering and just
Well,
chats?
I don't
Like
think that would
part-
because it has to be
Xbox
sentient.
party.
Our
It's not-
chats aren't
They're
sentient.
not sentient, but they are starting to throw AI in them.
Well,
It's not
And Tara's not
sentient.
sentient.
I'm really trying here.
Are you okay? But here's the thing: it does absorb our memories, so it would have absorbed, in a way, the knowledge of the group chat and every single message.
Depends
that
on
we've read
what
and
group.
sent.
If we're talking about the Discord, God help us.
Because I would love for the composers to just absorb all this just pointless knowledge of humanity.
There's a clan
Thousands
of Promethean knights
million-
that are known as the lactating
Yes.
knights. And it's every single
Why is there so
lactating
many
in the
people
Discord.
named after lactation?
Human, what does this mean about lactation? Cortana, what does he mean?
Cortana was just sitting there. I would just love to just see these massive composers or just anything just spout out memes.
It would be
Out of
kind of
nowhere.
hilarious. Because here's the thing: the reason why the composers work that way and the way they work off of it is kind of like a cloud storage. So it works off of the domain. The domain is basically a living organism that exists in a transsentient space. So that means it is always there and it is also never there. So, like with the precursors, we've said many times that the Forerunners killed the precursors, but nowadays we kind of realize that if they're transcendent, death is sort of just like a breeze to them. It comes and it goes. It is neither a state nor a problem. They don't die. Death is not a factor for a transcendent being.
Yeah, if they're able to digitally put their own conscience into really anything, can't they just beam their conscience into anything?
Well, for the precursors, it's a different sort of thing entirely. It's not even digital anymore. They use what they would call as star roads, I believe is what they had described it, and it's basically they're able to manipulate. Oh, it's neural physics. That's what it's called, neural physics. With neural physics, they can basically do things such as create something from nothing. Transport themselves anywhere in the universe at any given time. We don't even know what the precursors were doing before they made our galaxy, but they made our galaxy. And that's the most entertaining bit is that like, here's the thing. I've talked about this before, but Halo takes a whole lot of stuff from the Bible and then makes it so that it's like the things that happen in Halo were just written down in the Bible, such as like the flood and the ark and all of that, where it's just stuff that like humans were just translating.
There's a lot
what
of
is their
parallels
history.
to the Bible and Halo.
Such as with creating something from nothing. There was in fact something that came along and created something from nothing. And so that was just that.
Like even the names, like you said, the flood, the ark,
Yep.
all that kind of stuff.
Yep, the Ark of the Covenant.
Yep,
Good times.
all that stuff.
So we have all of that going on, and the composer, its significance with the domain being a thing made from neural physics, it's a living being because of that, and the domain goes and collects infinite amounts of data. This is how Forerunners will use it to communicate with their dead by using an imprint, communicate with each other across an entire galaxy. They can use it to meditate. They can use it to pull any information that they need from anywhere. Their armor is directly linked with Ancilla, which is another word for AI. That's in all of
Sounds
their
like
armor.
a medicine.
If your loved one has been diagnosed with so and so, take Insula.
Taken so. Sounds like something I'm allergic to.
may cause bleeding, deafness, blindness,
Super death.
Super death.
Some other things.
And even in some cases, mega death.
Oh no!
What do you mean I don't believe in God?
So, the domain being this sort of storage space and well of knowledge, because the Ancilla, what they do is they'll pull from the domain to answer any question that a Forerunner could have. What is this item? Where am I? Anything like that. And the Ancilla would just know because it's connected to the domain. But since the domain is also a living creature, when the domain was starting to get struck with a little bit of a problem by the rings firing,
Just a little.
it got damaged. It got hurt because it was a living creature. And it was down for a while. It's sort of like your Wi-Fi going out.
I was about to say this kind of just sounds like a living version of the internet.
Kind of, yeah. And so when that went down, there was nowhere for it to go. But eventually, after like I think it was like 10,000 years or something, the ISO Didact, the other version of the Didact, but we talked about that during the Didact episode. He and a band of friends went and reactivated the domain by taking on the Guardian, known as Abaddon. And after all of that, the domain is now partially running. It's at least somewhat there. The Librarian has used it to communicate with Chief in Halo 4. It's around. And so because of that, domain is now an interesting place. It used to be a whole lot different. It used to be described as something a lot different. But the Didact, if he got composed and his imprint couldn't go anywhere except the domain, and so he's currently in the domain, then the cover art for Halo Epitaph would imply that he is still in the domain, and it now looks like a wasteland. And I'm very curious about that. Just because if we're talking about digital beings and digital imprints, and he's stuck in the domain, then we have to, I mean, I don't know. This is supposed to be the last chapter of his story, according to the summary, the official summary. And I don't know if that means he's going to take the domain with him or not, because the Cortana used the domain to take over the galaxy. That's the thing. Like when she went to the domain took her to Genesis in Halo 5. And in Genesis, her rampancy was cured. When it was cured, everything else that she had going wrong, such as the logic plague and just all of the insanity that she got from absorbing the domain's knowledge, drove her nuts, and she became a megalomaniac, just like Halsey would have. So we have the domain that's sort of causing a lot of problems with that. And so with Epitaph supposedly taking place, I think after all of this that we've experienced, or maybe during, I don't remember, or really know. Maybe it doesn't even specify anywhere in the summary or anything like that. I'm curious if the composer is even going to come back, because the Forge, as far as I know, has been destroyed. The last composer.
Do you mean come back in a book or in a game or both? I mean, if he's got a book coming out, I'd be willing to bet it'll be somewhere in a book.
Well,
in that book where he's coming back.
Here's the thing. So, like the Didact, if we're talking about him now, the Didact, supposedly Epitaph is the last chapter of his story, whatever it is.
Okay.
So this will mean that we've had one game, 3 books, the trilogy, the original trilogy, and then a comic series, and now this book, and that'll be it for him. And like it's annoying because like his story makes complete sense. Like it doesn't defy any logic or anything like that. It's just more like, man, it would have been kind of nice to have him as the consistent villain for all of the games.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't miss fighting Prometheans though. I will say that I don't miss fighting Prometheans.
I do, because I thought they were getting close to making them fun.
I was not enjoying the whole jumping around.
I liked what they did with them in Halo 4, but then when they could start teleporting around and all their guns tracked, I wanted to blow my brains out.
Yes, that part.
It
sucked.
was not good.
But I still enjoyed it. Like they were more unique than the freaking skimmer.
Yeah, no, 100%. If they brought him back, but just maybe reworked how they like.
There's a grunt with wings.
Because here's the thing: the reason why I would have been fine with it is because Halo Infinite is lacking the one thing that every other Halo game, actually every other one, except ODST and Reach.
So not every other one.
I mean, if we're only talking about the 2 out of the 17 that currently exist, okay.
Mainline Halo game.
Sure, but we can still say almost all of them, because Spartan Assault, Spartan Strike, Halo Wars 2 also have 2 enemy factions at least, and that is something that Halo Infinite, even though it was something that we obviously enjoyed for 6 games in a row. Halo 4, Halo 5, Halo Spartan Assault, Halo Spartan Strike, Halo Wars 2, 5 games. We had 2 factions to fight against. It was variety. Even if it wasn't always fun, it at least added something to the combat. I very much would enjoy that. Like, I don't count the freaking Sentinels as a whole faction, because you don't run into them that often in the campaign either. They sort of seem like they were just slapped together because they don't do anything that's like wildly important. Like even their death animations aren't nearly as well crafted as they were in Halo 3 and Halo 2. I don't count Halo Combat Evolved. I don't know. Would you I know their thoughts. Would you want the Prometheans to come back at some point?
Yeah.
In what form? Like, do you like the Halo 4
In a game?
style? Well, no, I mean, like, do you like the Halo 4 style of them more?
I mean, I feel like you'd probably have to change the way they look completely.
Completely.
The art
Not
style.
completely.
The art
At least have it be more consistent with the current Forerunners style.
I agree.
Not the gaming PC look.
I think, I mean, yes, I agree with James. Bring them back, like, update the art style a little bit and have a mix on how they function with Halo 4 and 5. Like, have a nice little fix. Like, remove all, like, if you want to have, you know, the Promethean soldiers, cool. Tone down the bullet tracking.
The goofy faces.
The faces look stupid. Keep how the knights work. Like the critical hit points on the back of their shells. Keep those.
Mm-hmm.
And hot take away the crawlers.
I'm fine with that.
I cannot stand crawlers. There's so many. They track and they just run up on you and they bite you. They're like dogs. I don't like if you give me soldiers and knights and you maybe want to throw in a couple of the watchers.
I do like the Watchers.
The Watchers are kind of a cool concept. Like when the E3 trailer, E3 reveal gameplay for Halo 4, and Chief was going through the forest and he threw a frag at some of the crawlers, and a Watcher picked it up and threw it back at him.
That was sick.
I about bricks. I'm like, he did what? Like,
Hot
what
take.
do you mean?
I actually like the crawlers.
That is a hot take.
I
So,
say
I don't-
get rid
I
of
mean, I
anything
don't
that
feel like-
teleports.
I don't feel like their style is too different to like the way like a flood combat form comes at you.
I just thought
It is
that,
very
that
different.
the only thing that I didn't like about them was that they felt too bullet spongy if you didn't hit the head.
That
Fix that.
Yeah, that's really all I would need. I don't hit the crawlers. I would fine if they were there.
if they
There needs to be. There's always the weakest enemy type in every
a
faction.
Watcher.
But that's more specialized. I would call that more like similar to like an engineer.
That's true.
I'd agree if the engineers were a lot more common. You run into in Halo 4 and 5, you run into a lot more Watchers than you run into engineers in any of the
There's not
previous
that
Halo
many
games.
in Halo 5 actually.
They don't pop up frequently.
I have not
no.
played Halo 5 in literally years. I remember pretty well there was a decent bit. But I mean, again,
The knights, if you gave them a chance to spawn them, they can spawn them. But if you kill them too quickly,
see, I remember having a fair bit of issues. I mean, not issues with Watchers, but I definitely remember them being there. But again, even if there was like a minimum amount of Watchers in Halo 5, like it still completely outnumbers the amount of engineers in like Halo 3, Halo ODST, and Reach.
Nevertheless,
like, it's not really comparable. In my
I can still get what he's saying though.
No,
is
for
that like
sure.
the crawlers should be more like a cannon fodder,
right.
If they're going to be around.
I think that was their intent. They
If-
just made them a bit too strong.
Yeah, like make them weaker on health.
I mean, you one-shot them in the head with
yeah,
a
but
precision weapon.
but like
it should always be that way.
Yeah, but they're tanky still. Like
But
regardless of where you hit them, they're
It's
still
really
tanky.
annoying how it takes like a full magazine of assault rifle ammo to kill them. If you aim
Yes,
for the
no,
body.
it is extremely annoying.
Yeah.
That shouldn't happen, especially for the weakest link of this faction.
Mhm.
You shouldn't have to mag dump.
Especially like a
a
grunt.
crawler.
A grunt takes like a quarter of the magazine.
Yeah, run. And honestly, if they brought him back and like made him less spongy and removed the tracking, because they all ran suppressors, and in Halo 5,
Yeah.
what they did with the suppressor, I mean, they made it better, but the tracking is just egregiously overpowered. And
Honestly, I would love the suppressor to come back
No,
as like an SMG.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, no, like basically take what they did in Halo 4, but just make it better.
Actually good.
Yes.
I loved the sound of it in Halo 4.
I love the sound
Yeah,
of
they-
everything in Halo 4.
Their whole weapon set, the Prometheans and all that whole
Yep.
weapon
It's
set.
It's
light
pretty.
rifle.
I honestly though I do not like the way the battle rifle sounds.
Nobody does. It sounds like
It's
a
weird.
cricket.
So
It sounds
bad.
like a cricket.
Hold on. What about the Magnum?
It's okay.
I hate it.
It's okay. It
Yeah,
sounds like
it's
a
not the
camera.
best.
The thing is, it's the only firearm.
Say cheese.
It's the only firearm aside from the battle rifle that I'm like, there is no gun that makes a sound like this.
Yeah.
It sounds like a warped version of the USP from Modern Warfare.
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, that's how I looked at the plasma pistol from Halo 4.
Oh, that's more what I'm thinking.
Yes,
of. That's what I'm thinking.
yes.
of.
The
That's
pew
the
pew versus the jum jum.
Yes.
Because that's the thing.
Why does that work so well?
I'm just saying, Halo, like 343's Halo is always more pew pew. The OG is always more choo choo.
No, the the Promethean weapons, they were all good. Except and I mean, Do you remember the bolt shot in Halo 4?
Being meta.
Yes.
Ridiculously
Yes.
powerful.
The handheld shotgun
Yes.
that I run every time still.
It still took some good timing and knowing when to use it use it
Every
proper.
single time. It's almost like the same usage as a ninja. You just wait around a corner.
Up until Halo Infinite, I also believe that the Halo 4 assault rifle was the best assault rifle we had.
It probably was.
Up
Halo
until
5, actually. Pretty
At launch.
fire.
At launch.
At launch.
I was gonna
That
say
thing was
before-
awesome
I was
at
gonna say,
launch.
when they
nerfed
launched,
the hell out of
And then
it.
they said you're having too much fun.
They
Yes.
made it quote unquote better for range by making the reticle really small.
Mhm.
And therefore like I don't know. It didn't feel right after that.
Regardless, the Halo Infinite assault rifle is the best assault rifle we've gotten.
Oh, yeah.
I will not argue with anyone. People can argue with the wall over that.
And plus,
I will die by
we
that.
did figure out how important the reticle is in Halo Infinite whenever we played that one game mode that mixes the guns together. And we found out that based on what reticle you have is like guaranteeing how well you'll actually shoot your enemy. At one point, I got a stalker rifle that had whatever the fancy version of the sniper is. And the reticle was so big, it was covering up 3/4 of my screen. So if I just had one of these guys barely in my reticle, it was a guaranteed headshot every time.
Oh my god.
It was awesome. And I realized that's how the reticle works for them. Also, speaking of stuff like that, they actually just updated the netcode and the systems behind that.
Hey there, Halo fans. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with our friends right after these messages.
It runs so much better now. You want to know why?
They do.
They're just using the original programming that Halo was already using before. They reverted it back to original Halo.
They don't make them like they used to.
Because like basically
literally.
there was like a horrible desync problem with the new system, and so they have one game mode right now, Squad Battle, that is taking that. It was like a 5v5 or it's a 6v6. Squad Battle in Halo Infinite is 8v8. It's like the original BTB style. And Halo 4 is 6v6. I was confused, but they have
Is it?
Squad Battle in Halo 4 6v6.
Oh, I thought. Never mind.
They have that as the test, and everyone's saying how much better it is because like even though it is like old and it has the old bugs, it's the old bugs we all know and love. Things like how fast the grenade leaves your hand when you throw it is dependent on how good your internet is. What? Yeah, like if your internet sucks, your grenade's gonna take a second to leave.
That is why.
It's really funny, but it's an OG glitch. It's from a long time ago. It's pretty great to see it come back.
The fact that it just works better than what they have now.
Yeah.
That is wild to me. The fact that they even
Making
decided
games is
to go-
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a test. It is really. There's a test that someone did in Forge. They had a game mode they were working on, Spies versus Mercenaries, based off of Splinter Cell.
Mm-hmm.
Really fun game mode in Splinter Cell. And so they're remaking it in Halo Infinite. And so one thing that they did is they turned off all the lights in main maps. So he was testing it in streets. And so he had gotten rid of all of the just everything on the streets, even like the skylight. He turned off the sky basically. So there's no light anywhere. And then he attached a flashlight to the barrel of your gun, and he just attached it in Forge, so it's always there. And so he would run around the map and test it, and he found out in the old system the flashlight was lagging behind the gun in third person. Like if you're watching from behind, it would lag behind, and in first person it would just look like your flashlight was for some reason dragging on your screen. But then it got updated, and now the new system, it's perfectly attached. There's no desync, there's nothing. The desync got completely fixed by just reverting back to how Halo was before. And it's wild to me. I mean, I get why they did it. They probably understand the programming better. But it's still like, I don't know. Right now, I really want Halo Infinite to figure itself out even more because we finally have a quote-unquote complete package. The package we should have had at launch. And now we can start working on either bringing back all of the experiences. Give me Spartan Ops, please.
Griffball.
Griffball. Give me Griffball. I want Griffball more.
The fact that Griffball still isn't there is kind of criminal. I'm sure it's somewhere in the custom game browser, but
I feel like the hammer is gonna suck for Griffball,
Maybe they'll have to update it, man. I don't know.
or like do something with the health settings.
Because here's my
blah.
thinking, right? Halo guy on Twitter at one point made this post that was like, I don't want to keep on asking for things because they've already done so much. And I had to be like, homie, you can ask for whatever you want. We got 8 more years of Infinite.
Plus, not timeline aside, we have, considering how the launch of the game went, we have the right to ask for whatever the hell we want to ask for.
We have the right to. They don't have to listen to us. That's all that it is.
I mean, if they don't listen to us, but I mean that's their prerogative. It's not a good thing if they don't. But
Well, it's more like they can't answer the hopes and dreams of every player.
no, but they
they're-
can sure try.
Because there's a lot of here's the thing. There's a lot of stuff that players ask for that I don't think we would want.
Well, the majority of the things we're asking for is that's been in previous Halo games already.
Yes, indeed. But those things are already on the list. And they're already getting added as we go along. And that's why we're more talking about the new things, because they already wanted to do Firefight. Now it's here. They want to do Griffball. It's going to be here. They want to do full armor customization, cross-core, everything. They're already working on it. Like, they're already
Right.
doing all of this stuff. So we're kind of being more predictive, more like, hey, what if we try this? And one thing in particular was making Halo Infinite the permanent multiplayer and making new campaigns, but like other Halo campaigns that have different styles and everything like that. But Halo Infinite stays as the multiplayer, so they don't have to worry about developing.
I mean, I'm kind of fine with that because I like the way Halo Infinite multiplayer feels.
I do as well, but I'm not entirely sold on it because we've talked about this before. I know we have. Oh gosh, my wife is calling me. One moment. Hi, honey. You're live on the air.
Oh, cool. I was just going to let you know that I landed safely.
That's fantastic. Were the people on the plane nice?
Yeah, for the most part.
For the what?
I mean, there's always interesting people you encounter.
None of them were
right?
Halo fans.
That's true.
0 out of
That's
10.
true. So, is there anything that you would like to say to the adoring Halo fans?
Hi.
Hi.
Are you?
I can let you go so you can get back to your podcast. Sorry.
You're all fine. I'll give you a call after we're wrapped.
Okay.
You.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye. So
We're going to move on to our Q&A time now. Now that we've been thoroughly interrupted by my wife. So Vermin is back.
Okay.
He's asking, is it bad that I mostly listen to the podcast just to hear my questions answered? I'm realizing that this won't be answered for 3 to 4 weeks.
Yes.
Not.
Please,
I feel it. I feel
You
it.
know
Is
what?
that if that's the only reason, then yes.
you know what? You listen to the podcast for what you want to listen to the podcast for.
yeah.
Have fun
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say to that.
Wait, he's one of our patrons, right?
Yep, he's a cadet.
Oh, then yeah, he can do whatever he wants. He's
Yeah.
giving us money.
Oh wait, no, Vermin's a Marine. He's a Marine.
Oh yeah, then yeah, do whatever you want. Just stay a patron.
Next up, Perplexed Panic 1 asks, was Mark 5B only made for Reach? It seems like in the stories, the Spartan 3s only had the upgraded SPI armor, at least from what I understand from the novels. So that's a good thing.
That is
you
a
asked that.
different language to Connor. Connor's like, huh?
Mark, what?
So the Mark 5B was a Mjolnir armor set. That's the armor type that Master Chief wears.
Now we're getting into my terms.
So Mjolnir
Yes,
armor
Master Chief, that guy.
was a thing that some Spartan 3s were fortunate enough to get. It's sort of like when you were sent to war in World War II, but you were given a gun that was clean. Everyone else got a dirty gun, but if you were fortunate enough to get a clean gun, then you're winning in life.
Soldier cleans gun.
Germans in late war, I'm talking about mostly.
Oh, okay. You're talking more about like how the Japanese had a gun that was basically a block of wood with a barrel and a firing pin.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Based.
And so with the Spartan 3s, if you were someone like a task force like Noble Team, who is not a Spartan 3 team, they're separate from Spartan 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s. They're just Noble Team. They're just a task force. They all got Mjolnir armor because of the fact they're a task force. Some headhunters, they would get, actually, I think all headhunters basically would get custom Mjolnir armor because of the nature of their work. But most Spartan 3s would get SPI because they were pretty much just, they were expendable in a way. It's just how they were seen. So I hope that answered that question thoroughly enough for you. UNSC Frigate Lactation asks.
Oh man.
Wait, no, this isn't a question. I forgot to mark. Whenever I go into these Q&As, I have to keep my eyes open for the people who were just talking in the Q&A chat, and I'll mark it with a red X if it's not a question.
Don't talk in the Q&A chat, please.
I'm not, don't prevent
Keep it in
anybody.
general, please.
I just mark it with a red X like that, and so then I don't read it. So, Dark Matter Whiskey asks, what game do you guys feel has the best soundtrack?
Halo 3.
3, yeah. We were just playing it the other
Halo
night.
3.
And I was bobbing my head. to
Halo
a lot
2
of it.
is also very good, but Halo 3 has the edge by
No.
a good bit.
3
James
slaps.
is going to be having a hard time
This
with
is
this.
hard. This is really hard.
The one that has hit me the hardest personally, I don't know if it's the best, but it's the one that has hit me the most, is the ODST soundtrack.
Obviously.
I
saw that coming a mile away.
Deference for Darkness is a great track. There's one in particular I can't remember the name of, but it's very, very popular. I just can't remember the name of it, but it has a rock anthem in it.
Hot take, Halo 4 soundtrack is incredibly underrated.
It's fire. It's so
It
fire.
is such a good soundtrack.
It's also
I almost want to put it at my number 2.
It's also the only soundtrack to have a remix soundtrack.
wild.
I have come to the conclusion that I feel Halo 2.
No.
Shocker.
It is a shocker. I was really battling, okay? Halo 3 is like literally 1 point. It's 1A and 1B for me.
No,
Yeah.
Halo 2 is my number.
I mean,
Halo
like
2
I
is
said
2.
before, with Halo 3's soundtrack, that one bit is like.
I think Reach is
like
honestly my third favorite.
And it hurts to not have to put Reach in my top 3, but I'd say Halo 3, Halo 2, and then Halo 4 my top 3. And then you could interchange Reach and 4 on any given day. Depends on my mood.
The Halo 4
The
soundtrack is so good.
absence of the actual Halo theme bothers me.
It does show up. It does show up once, and I think that was on purpose.
It
and
is.
I can explain that right now, real fast. if you
Let
want
me
to.
do it.
You
Can
know
I
about
do
it?
I do.
Okay, go
They
ahead.
only play the Halo theme when there's a Halo ring present. In Halo 4, it doesn't play until Chief is like on the outside of the ship and he looks up and he's like, is that is that like, in Cortano's like, yep, it's a Halo ring or something, like some type of dialogue, right? Like that.
Yep.
That's the correct reason,
Yep,
right?
Installation 03. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
And when he looks up at it, you hear the Halo.
The
theme.
Halo for like 5 seconds, which is a total cop out, but it
okay,
sounds
does that
really
include
good.
the boom?
No.
That's
It-
what I'm talking
It
about.
is like,
Oh,
Yeah.
you want the full thing?
no,
full
that
thing.
is not there. But
Well, actually, no, that's in there. I'm fairly certain. It's
Where?
like a subtle tone in 117.
That doesn't count.
It's in there.
That doesn't count.
I'd say that counts.
I mean,
It's
like
there.
a full
You're saying
rendition.
it's not there,
I
and
just
it's
wish
there.
they didn't have. I'm talking about a full rendition of everything. Oh, I guess Reach doesn't.
It's a. Yeah, I was
No.
gonna say that doesn't.
Well,
your reason
Reach is
doesn't
not a
make
mainline
sense.
Halo game. So
like
I
Halo
feel
Reach
it
does
gets a little
have
more
Halo Reach
sway.
does have the main Gregorian chant show up in there at some point. But again, it's just
I mean, I think I have a valid point.
I just don't.
If you-
My thing is, I don't think that you need the full Halo theme
You
to
don't.
be a Halo soundtrack.
Halo
No,
4
I didn't.
is-
That's not what I'm saying.
At some point,
I'm
it needs
saying
that
for
chant.
me personally, that is a negative.
Okay, but it's
That's
not a
my
make or break.
I
opinion.
would say. I mean, no one's saying it can't be your opinion. We're just saying why we don't
So
agree.
but it's not a make or break. Is what
no,
you're saying.
I don't
It's
think
not a make or break on whether or not.
No,
the soundtrack
I
is
still
good.
think it's a great soundtrack.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
saying that's personally a thing that holds it back for me. That's
Fair
all
enough.
I'm saying.
Connor.
I said Halo 3.
Good.
correct answer.
I've sat here with my opinion this entire time. I'm like, I can't remember the other ones too much off the top of my head. The Reach is, I will say Reach is pretty good.
I for some reason have a feeling that if you listen to Halo Wars 1 soundtrack, you would find that as your favorite. I just have a feeling.
The Halo Wars
Maybe.
main menu music goes hard.
I don't know why. I just have a feeling. So give it a shot. Let me know what you think.
I will have to.
Professor Bliggs asks, do you guys prefer a specific button layout across each Halo game, or do you learn the new default for each different game?
New default.
I
My
usually-
MCC is set to default for each game.
I can't do it.
Here's the thing. I'm kind of the same way.
We were playing Halo 3, and I tried to do the aim-in thing with the energy sword, and I absolutely beamed Shane with a grenade.
I remember that. He tried to do the zoom so he could lunge
Yeah.
like you could in Halo 5, and and he stuck me.
So I guess I prefer the later styles of control.
So it depends on what Halo game you're.
Well, here's the
accustomed
thing. Ever since Halo Reach, when Halo Reach hit, I got used to that control scheme. That control scheme became Universal Reclaimer in MCC, and then it became Legacy in Halo Infinite.
Mine might be Universal Reclaimer. It might be.
Yeah, so I use Universal Reclaimer for every game. I use Legacy in Halo Infinite, and I use the default control scheme in Halo Reach. But every classic Halo before that, I'll use the default because that's just what I grew up on, and that's my mental association.
Am I crazy, or does Reach and 4 have the same controls?
Same controls.
So that's why it's called Reclaimer. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, very cool. Thank you for that. Next up is Praetorian asks, I'm on episode 15 of the Library, and I don't believe you guys covered this in episode 1 or 11, but is it true that any ancient human that spoke with the Primordial committed sewer slide shortly after?
Thank you for censoring it for us.
Respect it.
Appreciated.
I'm assuming this is me.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, either it would drive them crazy to the point that, those suicidal Marines in Halo 3 and Halo Reach and all of that. That would happen. Or more likely than not, they would just straight up get assimilated because the Primordial is also the Flood, so he can, nom, nom, nom on people. Next up, UNSC frigate lactation again.
God dang it.
Wait, no, they're just having a conversation. Guys! I just didn't mark it.
Talking.
I just didn't mark it. Okay. The lactation of regret asks, here's an interesting one, parentheses, I think. Question, if you had to base your gaming personality on a Covenant race, what would it be and why?
Envoy.
Mine would either be
Can
Grunt
we answer
or,
this?
I don't think I have a choice.
Mine would either be Grunt or Jackal, depending on the video game. FPS games, I'm totally a Grunt, but any other game like RTS, I'm a Jackal because I play dirty and because I need to win.
I respect the honesty.
Scraps. Like, okay, well, species gaming personality.
Are we talking about like Halo species?
Yeah.
So answer the question and then elaborate.
Yeah.
I
wonder what yours is going to be.
It's not an elite.
I would be a Huragok.
Really?
Because
We're talking about our gaming personality. Am I very honorable?
No. You have a good point. You team kill every chance you get.
I'm a Huragok because I like to methodically plan out a lot of things about how I play my games, and I also just genuinely try to have a good time, and that's just the Huragoks. They just vibe.
If I said
Spoken like a true support player.
if I said anything different of what I know all of you guys are thinking, I know y'all would just slander me for
It's going
it.
to get crucified.
So I'm just gonna say brute.
It's a brute.
Yep.
It's a brute. Yeah.
Give me some big things to do, some big explosions.
Yeah.
That's all I need. Give me the hammer.
As a cliche, I feel like I'm relatively honorable when it comes to, like, I don't team kill unless I'm team killed.
We have to keep track of who killed who so we can have the balance.
Well, it was someone in the stream the other day. It's they were like, someone keep track of how many team kills they are.
Yeah.
And then someone was like, beautiful 0 death run or something like that, even though like we died. So it's like, a beautiful 0 death run. Like after every level, I'm like, we probably died a million times.
Shout out to Mo Maggot.
Was it Mo
him.
Maggot?
That was
I'd
him.
say
Mo
we
Maggie
probably
going.
collectively died more to team killing
Oh, absolutely.
than we did
And random
actual enemies.
running with 4 people, I'm not gonna lie, really exposed Halo 3's legendary.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
I forgot we were on Legendary. It was
You-
so.
I mean-
that felt like a breeze.
Yeah, it wasn't that
It wasn't
bad.
hard at all.
Yeah.
But going back to the question, I'm gonna say Sangheili. I'm curious to what you're gonna say.
Who?
This one.
That one?
Yes.
I swear, if you say a Sanshayum or Sanshium,
No,
however you
no,
say
no,
it.
no.
I don't even know
because like
how
methodical,
I'm not that smart.
maniacal.
I'm definitely part of Jackal Gang.
You'll die very good.
Yeah.
different say
here's the thing.
skirmisher.
I love having fun. I love causing. I love doing a little trolling. Like how they
Bro's a grunt.
you know how they poisoned the food supply of the grunts and made them infertile.
Yes.
I do that in gaming all the time.
you poison our food supply and make us infertile.
Yes.
Like our kills.
Yes.
Oh no.
But I mean, that only I feel like is in casual experiences. If we're actually in a competitive environment, I don't do any of that stuff. Usually,
I don't.
never.
Brute all the way.
But I definitely see myself as part of Jackal Gang, unless we're playing any kind of fighting game or a racing game. I am definitely in Grunt Gang because I don't care, and I will never be good at them because I don't want to.
Yeah.
Just like
It just takes time.
I don't care. I just don't.
Yeah, no.
Except
I
Smash
agree.
Bros and Mario Kart. Those are the
Or
best. Right.
WWE.
That's the best fighting, and that's the best racing game.
Or I want to say WWE, but most of the time on WWE, we just create ourselves and watch each other fight.
Yeah, we usually just watch.
we
each
don't
other
play
fight.
usually.
It's fun. We
is
have
a
our own little
great
pay-per-view events.
Yes, it is. So
We get
We need
pizza
to do
and
that.
drinks.
We need to do that
We
soon.
do
Why
need to
haven't
do
we done that? I've been here for 3 months.
Yeah, we have to do that.
I started crafting.
Well, hold on. I thought he has the newest game.
That is true.
Yeah.
We have two universes. Yeah. See, I just know
It's a
that
WCU
my
wrestling canon
my
universe.
doofy ass will sit down one day and make literally like
A million.
15 people that
Make
we know.
family members,
Which,
friends.
if you take it out of context, sounds creepy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. I asked for consent.
He's got to ask
wait.
everyone for a blank expression picture.
Yeah, I was gonna say my favorite pastime was helping James get photos of everybody, and I'd message people like Joey, Trent, and I'm like, "Hey," they're like, "Yes." I'm like, "Send me a picture of you smiling," and they're like, "Oh."
Well, you're doing it wrong then, because
I said-
they have to have a blank expression.
Right, but then-
And I've discovered it actually is better if your eyes are closed.
Really?
What?
Yeah, because here's the thing:
Does it open the eyes
models
for you?
the model's eyes are already there, so if the eyes are closed,
Wow.
it's not gonna.
Okay.
Wow.
It's not gonna put the picture of the eye over the eye, and it doesn't really matter, but it helps.
All right.
So I've started making that, and if y'all recall, I also made a custom arena and custom like logos in the corner and custom like
We got to make a
championships.
Battle Dudes arena.
Yeah, I had one of those.
Yeah, we got to.
We had the MWF. I forgot what it stands for.
MWF.
I forgot what it stands for.
Meme
I know
Wrestling
Wrestling
Federation.
Meme
I'm about to say.
I had a logo and everything.
it was such a good one too.
We gotta get.
That took hours of work.
It takes.
It was worth it.
And that's why I'm tempted just to find my old 2K19 and just try and update that a bit, because there is so much on that.
Give me a day and a time.
I kind of want to, especially with the roster the current WWE games have. I kind of want to, because they don't. That's the shitty part. They don't add when a wrestler comes back, like CM Punk, for example. They don't add that wrestler to the game. They put him on next year's. So when WWE goes on a major signing spree, like all the game's outdated immediately,
Yeah.
and you have to wait for next year's game. So I'm kind of like, I mean, we can definitely do it for this year's.
It'd just probably be more limited.
yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be
Just a
that
couple-
bad, but the roster, like the move sets, music, entrances, all that stuff. We got really off topic with this question.
Yes.
This was about
Whoops.
our species.
Next.
Well, now you have a little clue into our family traditions.
Yep.
Next one is another one from Vermin. Oh gosh, this one.
Another one.
Send me a picture
no,
of you smiling.
it's just
I did that to
So-
Trent a few years back. He was like, "What?"
it's question for Shane and James and you, Connor. You weren't around yet.
Oh, fair enough.
Do they? And it's a screenshot of. It's a message that I sent that got really popular in the Discord for a very long time. It still
Okay.
is. It's just me saying real bros suck toes.
Oh.
Next question.
Oh.
Next question.
You need to answer
Next
it.
question. Yes,
To
next
answer your
question.
Austin doesn't have any real bros then.
Oh.
I'm glad you guys like drowned out my response, because I was like, next question. Next question. Yes, next question.
I'm so glad you drowned out my response. I'm saying it again so everyone
it's
can
funny.
hear.
It is funny.
It
I wanted
is
to-
funny. Don't get me wrong.
We like to have fun here.
Next up, we have Lactating Gunny.
Oh my God! Change your name.
I thought you were part of the cult. What have you done?
Oh
What
no.
have I done?
He has 2 questions for us.
That's cheating.
I'll count it as one.
Fair.
Just make it part 1, part 2.
Yep.
He asks, who would win in a fight, Master Chief or Bane from the Dark Knight trilogy?
Master Chief. Moving on.
Bane went out in the most made way I've ever seen.
Bro got hit by a bike.
Like,
pretty
he's
sure
not
she
even
shot him.
juiced.
No, he got. Oh wait, yeah.
She pulled up.
She
then
shot him with the bike.
Yeah, because life is so weird. For whatever reason, I looked his death scene up this morning. I shit you not, for no good reason. I'm sitting on my break. I looked up Batman Bane death scene. I'm not kidding. Like, I'm actually not, like, for no good reason. That's the only reason. I probably would have agreed with you, but I literally watched the scene today. It is so weird. I don't understand.
See, if he had said like Bane from the Injustice series or something like that, like when Bane is juiced up and basically like can take on Superman,
Yep.
sure, probably could beat Chief in some scenario, but Bane from Dark Knight,
He's just a
movie
dude
Bane?
who's really buff.
Bro lost a
No
Catwoman. homie, Catwoman killed my mans, bro.
I'm taking this plane.
Part 2 of his questions were, what do you guys think of Splitgate? It's like Halo, but with portals. It's
Never
like if
played
Halo
it.
and Portal combined.
It died very quickly.
What are we talking about?
Splitgate.
It was
I
fun.
don't remember.
I've played it. It's basically...
I know what it is.
Okay.
I just. It disappeared.
Wait, what?
Wait, you don't remember, but you know what it is?
I said,
Yeah,
like, it disappeared that fast. I
okay.
forgot that was a thing.
It
It's
had
more what I should have
potential.
said.
It was
It-
popular.
It didn't. It just died. They didn't maintain it well. It didn't have a ton of marketing. It was fun. It's a game that you should, if you haven't played it, definitely go back and play it a little bit.
Give it a shot.
Yep.
I tried it.
Our podcast is gonna be the reason they get a random spike in players.
Maybe I just
Yeah, like 3.
That's probably a big spike to
I
them
just
right now.
Because I'm not saying we have like a tiny audience. It's not like massive. But
We
like,
don't have a small
gotta be real,
audience.
though.
Okay.
We don't
okay.
have a small audience.
It's the rule in tenths. Okay, if 100,000 people have like touched our page, that's how many, right? Around there
what right now?
have like touched our Spotify
Like
page.
just impressions
Oh,
or
we're getting if we're talking like just like people who have seen it.
Yes,
That's like it is in the hundreds of thousands. Yes.
yeah, it works in a rule tenths. Not so you have 100,000 people have seen it. Means you probably have 10,000 people who've like given it a listen,
Mm-hmm.
and you probably have 1,000 people who have given a follow,
Yeah.
and then you probably have
Roughly right.
10 people who are super addicted and super like big fan. So that'll mean probably one person will play Splitgate. Because we said
who is that one
its
person?
name.
Who is him?
Who is him?
Please expose yourself.
If you want
Who
to be
is
our
him?
biggest fan, go play Splitgate and show
Who's that
proof.
one, wait, who's that one
Splitgate,
guy who
please
actually
sponsor
said
us.
that he was our biggest fan and like even like said it in like multiple times in general chat and in the Q&A? Like he
Oh,
claimed
All
it.
I know is I love him.
I don't.
say we're gonna feel for not. He's
Well, it's
like,
because he has,
there is a
he has
lot
not
of-
been,
no, I know.
he's not been
names.
around
I know.
recently. Is also a thing. Like he just hasn't been around.
You're not gonna find it.
I'm not gonna find
Let's
it.
just
He's-
leave it
he's
there.
somewhere in there.
Next question.
Next question. Also, just to say it, I've played Splitgate. It's not my cup of tea. I gave it a shot, but it doesn't feel right to me. 2 more to go. Vermin again says, "Do you think Chief would have survived in Noble Six's position?"
No.
I mean, here's the thing: if Noble Six stayed behind, so they could get away,
Yes, and if Chief were to be self-sacrificial like that,
Chief
yeah,
would
he'd
have
be dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
There's no way off the planet it's getting glassed. Even if he survived the Covenant encounter,
he
in a
takes a
cave.
hell of a lot of covenant with him, like
He-
Noble Six did, but he'd
there would be
eventually-
nothing. He'd die. He'd die.
I think the glassing would finish him off.
Yeah, he could kill like the entire.
And if the
Covenant
glassing
army.
didn't, the starvation would.
He could start nomming on
Actually-
Sangheli
What?
flesh.
Well, the Spartan armor can keep you self-sufficient for like a year.
Okay.
Wild.
He'd probably be there stuck for longer than a year.
Maybe or not. We don't know. Anyway, last question comes from ODST Evan, and he asks if Chief was fighting 3 Space Marines. We're talking about from
40K.
40K, and all Chief had was an assault rifle. Do you think he could still win? And how do you think it would go? All right, so
Is this the guy who asked if Chief could beat one Space Marine, and then we probably all said Chief. Maybe.
Do we actually have a question like that?
I would
Pretty
say,
sure. I think we did. That rings a bell.
I think Chief has the edge just because of shielding. I think it depends on how.
I don't know enough about Warhammer to actually answer this question.
How much about Forehammer? Yeah, how much about that do you know?
I know the specifics, but I know none of the stories. Like I know weapons and all that stuff.
I know way too much for someone who has played the game 3 times, and I'm talking like the tabletop. The Space Marines, one Space Marine could probably kill Chief. I don't think that's even an argument or a contest. It is ridiculous how brutal the Space Marines actually are, especially if we're talking about them being from like Astartes or something. Like if it's Astartes, it's ridiculous.
If they're the Astartes, that's going to be really interesting.
Heck, the Space Wolves could probably take him out. But point being, Space Marines win. It's just because like they've taken on people who have shields. They've taken on people that are similar to the Flood with the Tyranids. So like it's really not that different, and they're just beefed. They're beefcakes to the highest degree.
All right, I take my statement back on the shields because if, like you said, if they're used to dealing with shields and
they're used to dealing with space wizards.
Yeah, they got Chief. Chief. I'm switched.
I'm gonna make one more exception for the questions just because of the ease of that one. Fuzo22 Fox is our last question guy.
Hey, shout out to him. He was on the stream.
He was indeed very.
I'm
very
impressed you remember a bunch of these people. I really am.
I remember.
I remember.
Wow, you need to take more notice.
It's not that
I
large.
definitely remember a handful.
I mean, I only did watch the chat for like half of the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Fuzo Fox asked, and he actually answered his own question. Oh my gosh. Okay, well his question was related to, I'm gonna have to make another exception here and answer the next one, but he basically asked like, are the Marines in Halo Wars on the Spirit of Fire clones? Because how are there so many Marines in Halo Wars, but the ship has only like 6,000 crew members total? The answer is you're using only like a couple hundred at a time. You ideally are not losing all of them. So if in one campaign run, you're not even burning.
So it doesn't make sense canonically if you suck.
So next
I suck at Halo Wars probably.
Next is last but not least, Lactating Milk MT asks, what vehicle or weapon from Halo Wars or any other Halo title should have been added into Halo Infinite, or what weapons and vehicles should have never been added to Halo Infinite?
Not played Halo.
The Wasp is probably the only one I would say shouldn't have been added. And there's an argument that it should be there, but it shouldn't be the only UNSC flying vehicle.
And made of paper mache.
Yes, it is still bitch made. It is slightly better than Halo 5. You could even argue it's just as good.
Here's the thing. I'm still mad about how weak and the Banshee is.
Ridiculously.
Yeah.
So this is not my real answer, but please buff the Banshee. Because I love the Banshee. It's my favorite Halo vehicle.
Yeah.
Fun fact. And it makes me sad.
Yeah.
But what should be in?
Yep.
I'm trying to think outside the box.
Well, you said from Halo Wars. That's
You said Halo Wars? Oh, I have no
from
idea.
Halo Wars.
I want to say like,
I don't know.
Or any other Halo title.
I was going to say,
I was saying I don't know the Halo Wars vehicles because I've never played Halo
They're
Wars.
awesome.
Considering
I'm sure they are.
Villain of Halo Wars 2 is the Banished. There's so many there's no reason that like at least half of the vehicles from Halo Wars should not be in. I mean, there's a Condor. They reference a Condor once, but it's in shambles. Like, why not just put it in the damn game? Like it doesn't make sense.
What's your answer, James?
Probably, if I had to pick, wild card the Mantis.
That's fine. That sounds great to me.
That's a great pick.
I did not understand why it wasn't there.
No, I mean, you don't have to not understand. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, why is the Mantis not in Halo?
Well, you see.
Incompetence.
So, James, I'm thinking that my answer would be with Halo Wars specifically. If we're talking vehicles, I would very much want the Grizzly.
Grizzly's good.
Freaking love the Grizzly.
That's like the Scorpion, like one up.
It's
from the Scorpion, right?
It's a Scorpion that fires incendiary shells.
Yes, it doesn't have like 2 barrels.
2 barrels, and it has a machine gun like Halo Combat Evolved on the barrel.
Play
This thing is badass.
Play
It's
Halo
great.
Wars. Play Halo Wars.
It's great.
It's an RTS, but I think you'd. I mean, hell, I can
mean,
do a play.
it's
play
co-op.
with you.
I've
Yeah,
played the demo. That's about
that
it.
doesn't count.
So aside from that, weapons. The sniper
Was that part of the question?
Yeah.
Oh,
Which vehicle or weapon would you want?
Oh, I only caught vehicle.
I have a good one.
Because
Okay.
my answer is plasma rifle. Please let it exist again.
Yeah.
The plasma rifle from Halo 3 is one of my favorite weapons in all of video
It's
games.
just iconic.
Yeah. Shane, what were you gonna say?
This is a good one. One we have not seen since one certain game, the needle rifle.
Yeah, I
Ooh,
would love that.
I love
What the
needle
hell?
rifle.
Everyone
Why?
thought that we were going to get it because they've been using needles so much, and they're using it again right
I
now.
wouldn't be shocked at some point, but it, even outside of Infinite, just we haven't gotten it back at all. I mean, you got the blood of Saban from the plasma carbine.
That
there.
was awesome.
That thing was, but that is not.
See,
the
you make the
same. That
needle
isn't
rifle a power weapon and have it behave like that,
right.
where it kills people that fast. That'd
Yeah.
be cool. Now, I will say, that would be shocking if that was the next weapon they added, because that'd be 2 precision weapons in a row.
You can kind of
Yeah.
tell. You can go.
well, it is a competitive game.
All you got to do is look in to just look at leaks and look at what people are pulling out of the game files, and you can kind of get a gist of what they're gonna a few months before, not even a few months. It was they were sitting on the Bandit rifle for almost a year, and it was it was in the game files. Someone pulled it out. It was working just fine, and you can just go what people are leaking
Yeah.
and kind of find out what they're gonna add to the game.
Mhm.
There's a double barrel shotgun. Somehow, some way, there's a double barrel shotgun in the files. There's a banished LMG that shoots needles.
Yep.
The spiker is also in there.
Yep.
In the files. Funny enough, the Falcon's in the game files as well.
Yep.
I know you. I think you might have showed me that one.
Yeah, I've seen all of this.
There's a bunch of shit in the game files, and you can kind of predict and see based on what's in the game, what they might be adding here soon. But
Yeah.
yeah.
My requested weapon would be from Halo Wars 2. The sniper unit gets to use the stanchion sniper rifle. And the stanchion is only referenced one time in, I don't know if it's used in the Kilo 5 trilogy or anything like that, but it was a mainstay in Halo Contact Harvest, the book that Joseph Staten wrote himself. And the stanchion sniper rifle is basically a handheld Gauss cannon. It's a magnetic accelerated gun. It has a tracking system so that it auto-corrects itself in midair while it's flying and all of that. And it has insane range. It can penetrate through anything. It's ridiculously cool, and I would love it as a power weapon. But the last thing that I wanted to talk about was just sort of a callback to us talking about the sounds of the weapons. You want to know why they had to change those sounds?
Why?
Or probably why they felt like they had to change those sounds. Because, we talked about the difference between the pew pew and the choo choo, right? So, fun thing about the choo choo, all stock sound effects.
Wait, which sounds?
All of the classic Halos,
Oh.
all stock sound effects. The assault rifle, stock.
I knew the shotgun was,
The shotgun is stock.
because you hear that all over the place.
The plasma weapons are all stock. The gun turret, the UNSC gun turret, Warthog, all of that, all stock. Some of the door sounds, all stock, and they just mess with it just a tiny bit to make it a little bit different from the pack. But there's a pack you can buy that has all the sounds that Halo's ever used. Oftentimes, you'll hear the plasma pistol shot as a little spark or something in a movie. Even to this day, you'll hear a plasma pistol randomly go off, and I'm just like, so it's kind of funny because I'm guessing what 343 did was oh no, that's very unprofessional. It was listen, we have a sound team. Let's actually make them go and do something.
It's time to put effort into something.
So honestly, just update those sounds.
that would have been
They've done that for a couple guns.
They did.
The Halo 5 carbine has pretty much a updated version of the classic carbine
And
sound.
it's still it's weird. I always picture the way that they do their Covenant sounds as liquid.
yeah.
And I don't know if I like that because even the energy sword looks like liquid.
Yeah.
It bothers me. I don't like it because I don't like their concept of energy being liquid. It's not fun. I like the plasma being, because that plasma is like a liquid sort of, but it's not the sound of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dear listeners, thank you so much for joining us in today's episode. Sorry that everything is sort of just a cluster. We've had I particularly
Is
have
this
had a long
longer
day.
than the Master Chief episode?
No.
Moving on.
But if you want to support us directly, you can go to patreon.com/JumperScape or ko-fi.com/JumperScape. If you want to join the community, you can join us at discord.gg/JumperScape. We're always happy to have you guys join us and join the community, and I guess change your name to Lactating Whatever.
No.
Lactating James.
Oh yeah, except Lactating James. That's the only allowed name.
We're always hanging out there and we're always having a good time, so you're always welcome to join us there. Other projects are always being worked on, and we very much appreciate any of the support that you guys provide at all. It's just great to have you guys here listen with us. It's something fun as we're coming near the end of the year. We've reached all the goals that we had set out for before we had hit the first year of this podcast being around. So before we hit the anniversary, we've hit all of it. So thank you very much for all of you who have made that possible. Let's aim for doubling it before we hit the 1 year anniversary.
Tripling it.
Triple.
Hey, you never know.
So thank you again for listening. Guys, is there anything you would like to say personally, one-on-one to, Daniel and Jacob who listen to our show, maybe even Amelia if she's around?
I hope everyone has a great
I hope you
holiday.
all go listen to something else because this episode is over.
The library was produced and published by JumperScape Audio. Funding was provided by our fantastic patrons on Patreon. If you enjoy the show and wish to support JumperScape's future projects or get some sweet benefits, join our Patreon at patreon.com/JumperScape or become part of this truly special community at discord.gg/JumperScape. Thank you for your listenership, and we hope you enjoyed.